It is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts. Know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
what's the point?
The point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me have my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
You got to run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we just secured the bag.
But you got to promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. It'll be like my favorite movie. Lifetime. It's so great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
Keep themselves safe.
Backyard wrestling, the scourge of our nation's youth. Now, I'm not talking about whacking your buddy with a pine cone or knocking your sister into the hedges. That's good, clean fun. These backyard wrestlers are beating each other brain dead with light bulbs and barbed wire. Why? We'll explore this violent phenomenon by talking to people whose lives have been affected by backyard wrestling. Let's meet our first guest, Wendell.
Whenever you're ready to get it going.
A secret?
Am I safe? What? Am I safe?
Oh my God. They snuck in. It's beautiful. Thanks for getting in.
Of course.
So it felt great to see Tony. He has been incredibly supportive through this entire process. Of course, we had communicated and talked, but it's not the same as seeing someone face to face.
Hey, I'll close the door. I'm going to run by every time I go to this bathroom.
Oh my God, of course.
Share a bathroom.
Yes.
It's Wednesday! You know what that means? AEW Dynamite is live in Los Angeles at the fabulous Kia Forum.
All right, we're 2 minutes here. I'm going to give you the 5 in about 30.
A win!
Thank you.
So I talked to Tony last week, and he told me there's a plan. So I just got to trust him. You know, I trusted him before, and I became TNT champion 3 times.
Dr. Britt Baker should be better than these. Neck breaker. She's near fall. Let Saraya blow into the shot. Here's our finish.
I decide I'm not only going to hide in Tony's office, but I'll hide in Tony's bathroom.
Oh, shit! She missed that table. She landed right on the floor.
Hey, you did? Oh, yeah. It's crazy. To get to the bell in 2 and change so we can celebrate.
That's a kid. That's
At this point,
Literally ready to throw up.
Let's do it.
At the ring.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you. This is it. I didn't.
Let's go.
Fucking months.
He looks amazing.
Go see a watch out of that, Cobb, baby.
Seriously, every single day, I'd read things like, I miss Adam Cole. The thing is, the bad news, it's not for me.
Hey. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Feels good. Feels so good. I'm so happy.
Let's f***ing go, Tuesday. All right, boys, I gotta go out. All right, he's okay?
Yeah, I think so. He just needed a minute.
Okay.
3 minutes. 3 minutes off air. 3 minutes off air.
No! Damn it, God damn it!
Hey, B, no way a little dude like you is gonna change my ways.
It's time you were tempted with a taste of nuts and honey.
Hulk Hogan doesn't eat nuts and honey.
Take this. It's an unbeatable part of this nutritious breakfast.
That's better than a body slam.
Undefeated.
And still champion.
It's a honey oven. It's honey nut Cheerios.
Tonight on Down to Earth, can it be true?
I am adopted.
I'll buy that.
Then on Safe at Home, the gang's New Year's plans are up.
SDL. 2 bad bitches, 1 hot shot. B3CCA bitch. 2 bad bitches, 1 hot shot. Hello. It's that B3 flow. You said you know me? I think you don't. My friends are rich and you're looking hella broke. With Matt, I'm a real rough rider. Can't keep up, my arms must be tired. Slow-mo, super villain, Zack Snyder. You talk shit, but I know you're a subscriber. DSL on our lips cause we're naughty. Hannah Montana acting like Miley. We can't stop cause we're the life of the party. Got your man squirming Scotty too haughty. SDL with a $sign code. B3CCA with the 3 cause I'm cool. Face fat, ass fat, say that. 2 bad bitches, 1 hot trap. Haters on your grip, that's priceless. Haters on their bitches, that's worthless. Diamonds in my mouth, I'm priceless. Always ready for a fight, come try us. You thought I'm a thotty, you thought wrong. Just a hottie with a body and a thong. You wanna fight? Let's get bloody like Carrie. I'm queen of the prom. SDL with a $sign code. B3CCA with a 3 cause I'm cool. Top of the Indies now on top of the charts. We're spending our cash and breaking your hearts. Coral. Back at SDL, bitch. Back at SDL, that's perfection. Me and Steph are the dream that's inception.
Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. Yeah. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks. Can I get a yo? Yeah. And we got a lot to get to, man. A lot of hot news. I see Chad is jumping. They're hot in debate. There's 2 bad bitches, 1 hot track. We did that. Who are the best rappers in pro wrestling? I say Becca, and Becca because she spits hot fire. Shout out Dylan. But guys, what's up? It's Saturday. We have a lot to get to. I take 1 day off of like X and anything where I don't do anything PWT related, like, you know, whether streaming or like me at home clipping and doing stuff, you know, like one day off of PWT work, I go see Thunderbolts, I come back and the entire pro wrestling world has been flipped upside down. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about these shocking WWE releases. Did they fumble? I put polls in the chat. If you're over on X, come join us on YouTube, vote in the poll, join us in chat, and let me know, did WWE fumble the bag overall? Like overall, was it a fumbling? We're going to talk about that. Tons of names. We're going to go through each name. We have light news. We have, here, I'll just put some. Let's look in the meme folder here and see what we got. Just some funny stuff. Here we go. We'll leave that up there as we chat. Okay. We've got light news, some TNA news, actually some TNA news that is being talked about, but it's not being talked about that much, which is sort of a big deal, you know, but it's just been overshadowed naturally, you know. We have some sickos, some wackos. We got some real wackos out there, buddies. What else do we got? We got what else is in this title? Samantha the Bomb says she got shadow banned, so we're going to talk about that because we were putting over her song here. And I just figured I'd throw that in the title. There was a million things I could have thrown in the title. Tegan Knox blasted WWE with a response to these releases. What else, man? We got tons. We got tons of stuff. I know Tony Khan is very, very much licking his chops right now, right? And he's going to try and play it cool, but you know there's people that he's trying to grip up. Even the dirt sheets are saying that he's, or not Tony specifically, but you know who they're talking about when they say, oh, some of the big companies are, you know, are eyeing up these people, etc. So we're going to talk about each person. We won't waste too much time. Like, we'll get through light news, then we'll go right into WWE news, okay? Because I don't want to, and then we'll get to sickos responses and wackos responses, all right? And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. What else is there going on? I'm sure there's more. Hulk Hogan has some funny shit to say. Dave Meltzer, of course, we're going to talk about him tonight. We have to. And yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to check in with chat once I pull up some news here on this other tab. And chat, you guys let me know how you're doing. I'm going to pop in and check in with you all. So we're going to do light news first, right? Just to warm up. And then we're going to get into some WWE stuff. And some of the light news pertains directly to WWE. So it's kind of a good tie-in. Let me check in with chat here. Ray J's World for 5 says, WWE is helping partner TNA with these releases. TNA needs more knockouts. This may have to do with the Rock Triple H power struggle too. I just think it's routine cuts. You know? And I tweeted out like the typical, like I put the bait out there and used the word fumble, you know, because like, you know, it's going to rage some people. So you know, don't hate the player, hate the game. But yeah, I'm not like outraged by like, guys, come on. Me and Husey were talking about The Miz could go and shit. You guys think I'm like really shocked by Braun Strowman being released again? We're going to talk about it more in depth. But definitely, I do think there's a fumble in the bigger picture of things that I'm going to approach it my way. Again, I'd like to think I come at these things a little differently than most. So we'll talk about it. David Carradine's Closet for 5 says the releases were one past attraction and a bunch. Well, which one? Braun, yeah. And a bunch of nobodies. Oh, come on, David Carradine. That's not very fair. That's not very fair to call these people nobodies. The real David Carradine wouldn't be here for it. Eric, he would be not behind what you're saying. Chat me up about autoerotic asphyxiation or whatever. I don't know if I said that right. Why should I care just because wrestlers aren't afforded forever employment? Yeah, you don't have to care. You know, you don't have to care. I just love WWE and I love some of these talents and but at the same time, it goes beyond that. I think when you're looking at the bigger picture, which I'm going to break down when we get to this whole thing, There's just a couple of flops there, not too many. I'm not devastated or shocked by many of these people. I'm a little like, yeah, I don't know. Clearly, the main roster, I guess they don't care to just have people around as like jobbers and shit either, as much as they want to make sure everybody's pushed, which is shitty because we get more 50-50 booking that way. But I thought we were kind of moving away from that. But we'll get into it. Regina Sharp for 12 months says WWE is just waiting to drop it on your day off. Yeah, exactly.
You fucking mark!
Pretty much. That's how it goes. Thank you for your membership as well for one whole year. So Gigi Dolan is the main one. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Where's the fumble? Well, I'll explain, stay locked in here. I'll explain. At least in my opinion, routine cuts. Yeah, exactly. AEW should be doing the same. Fully agree, fully agree. That SRS report was funny. Complete damage control. To even ask her to lose. Is that with the creative stuff? Yeah, we'll get into that. The only name I saw on the list that bummed me out was Cora Jade. Yeah, we'll get into that. It was painful watching Strowman. His body can't handle it anymore. I didn't like that they released Cora and Gigi. I fumbled the bags. How was the Minecraft movie? I haven't seen it. Okay. So let's get into things. Okay, just checking in with chat there. As a mark for Eddie Thorpe, I hope he does it. Yeah, so I like Eddie Thorpe too, but I'm not like overly devastated. But yeah, let's play here. Let's hit a super chat comes in here. Here, Wolverine DX for 5 says Dakota and Cora were injury prone, and Cora, I love her, but she didn't really improve. Dakota's 37. Wish them the best, but I get it. Yeah. For certain. We're going to get into it. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give my thoughts, whether I agree or disagree with some of these sentiments, And yeah, we're going to break each name down. We're going to spare no release. We're going to give them all their shine too, because, they hopefully will go get some bags leaving WWE now, right? That's the biggest hope. If you're fans of some of these folk, Okay, so let's get into it. Let me play I Got Some Bad News, and no, we're not being cute. We just do that for Miscellaneous. We play Wade Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So, following his New Japan Pro Wrestling departure, Jeff Cobb has teased his retirement ahead his reported move to WWE. Jeff Cobb says 16 years is a long time to work. Happy retirement to me. I'll let the waves take me to my next destination. Can I wade in your water until I catch your wave? Yeah, I think he's going to WWE main roster. So you got to think about it, right? They made these releases and they're bringing in Jeff Cobb, Malachi Black. They're bringing him back. Hit the road, Black. And don't you come back no more, right? But he came back. And who else? Rusev. So these are the people, right, that they're bringing in. And this is what we wanted. We're like, we want Rusev and shit. But again, we're going to talk a little bit about how the fans as well, like a lot of wrestlers people don't really give a shit about. So I kind of like the energy that chat's coming with, where you guys are being honest. You're being like, I don't give a shit. Some of you guys, whatever. And if you do care about some of them, that's fine too. If you care about all of them, that's fine. But a lot of people are so devastated who don't really support in loud enough. That support isn't as loud, And so Jeff Cobb's coming in more than likely. The waves are going to take him where they go. SummerSlam. Hey-o. Right? Might wash up on shore that day. But yeah, fucking shout him out. I'm excited for it. And he teases retirement because that's what you do, And so I also talked about, I almost forgot to mention this. So I also talked about last show how we read this whole Reddit post. Or it was the last show or the show before, but or maybe a few shows back. I do so goddamn many shows now. But TJP wrote this huge Reddit thing and pretty much buried Jeff Cobb, even though he's like, we are friends, but He just laid it all out, like pretty much buried Jeff. And so, you know, people went in the comments and on Reddit and on Twitter. I saw afterwards, and people were like, TJP's full of shit. Seems to be like the common sentiment there. So who knows? Maybe they just didn't get along, and that's a shame, I guess, but we'll see him in WWE. So here's Hulk Hogan, brother. Real American Freestyle. Here's him and Eric Bischoff on Fox and Friends, I believe, talking about he's launching this new league to professionalize freestyle wrestling, and he's got the NWO beard and stuff. It's funny.
We're going to go to all the major venues. Our first one is August 30th in Cleveland. But the main thing is, like, because Eric's so darn important to this venture, he knows how to deliver, produce, and make the fans care about these athletes. Like when Eric was explaining it to me, he goes, it's like The Voice. You shoot the backstory, you know, he broke his leg when he was younger, his family fell apart, or he got rewards, you know, for wrestling growing up. But once we find out what the backstory is, when these guys come through the tunnel, you already care about the athletes. Plus, I was worried when I first hooked up with Izzy, because of the charisma and the business I did. You know, we like to entertain people too. That's right. I was worried about these young guys being like flat white bread, you know. And once I got around them, they all got that Conor McGregor swagger. They've been watching TV, they've been watching promos, they know about branding, they understand the opportunity.
I mean, everyone can be mad at this or what. I don't know what the reaction to this is. I love that they're injecting life into amateur wrestling, you know. I loved it when people like Eddie Bravo, he started the Eddie Bravo Invitational, and it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's a tournament, but it's open hand strikes. Like you can open hand slap people to advance position and stuff like that. And it's amazing. It's just injected new life. And some of these freak show fights, I'm not calling anyone a freak or anything, but just this, they did like Gabby Garcia, who's like this giant woman. She wrestled, I believe, or grappled Craig Jones, like in the pit, I believe it was Craig Jones. And yeah, so just injecting life into like martial arts and like grappling and amateur wrestling, because all this is going to do is find people who can cut promos who are amateur wrestlers that then pro wrestling companies can come and go, hey, NIL, pal, or whatever, and they can develop these people. And hopefully they're good, you know, like unlike Chad Gable, not Chad Gable, rather Gable Steveson. Shout out El Grande Americano, allegedly Chad Gable, who's tremendous in the ring. I meant to say Gable Steveson, but you guys get the gist of what I'm saying there. So I'm all for this, brother, you know. Official Mayu Iwatani has joined Marigold after leaving Stardom, so it's likely that she will go to Marigold and then eventually go to WWE. I mean, that's one of their partners there. JBL said if not Vince McMahon, he says he'd work for Eric Bischoff over Tony Khan or Dixie Carter. So I thought that was interesting. So Jeff Cobb, yeah, I just bookmarked his retirement tweet there. So here's Alfred Konuwa talking with Hulk Hogan, I believe. This is him talking to Hulk Hogan, brother. I believe. I got to reach out to him, or I should check his channel, I guess. I've been so busy, caught up in my own shit. But Hulk Hogan's nickname for Brock Lesnar was what? And it's Hogan just fibbing here. He's just telling hella lies here again.
Yeah, well, I remember when Brock Lesnar first came to the WWE, I got him first. And it was no picnic, believe me. And so I wrestled him probably 10 or 12 times. And I mean, I remember being in Madison Square Garden. The only way I could get him to lighten up on me at all, I would say, "Okay, broccoli."
Okay, broccoli, dude. He's hammered on all American beers, dude.
I call him
real American beers, whatever they're called.
Broccoli. So Brock Lesnar. So if you keep doing this crap, you're going to end up in here by yourself, you know. So finally, I got him just kind of like go with the flow, which is what we did back then. But I saw his personality develop. I saw him be able to just shoot in there like a monster and grab a single leg, take a guy down, ride him like a government mule, and then at the same time turn into this crazy over-the-top entertaining character. And what we called in the wrestling business a good worker, where you could work with a guy every night and he wouldn't break your neck or cripple you. And when I first got him, he was not like that. You know, he was like a freight train running over you. So, yeah, well,
yeah, you know, Hogan, he worked with Brock like before Brock went to UFC, like a few years or a couple years before, right? But it's, or like I think he went to like New Japan, then NFL, then UFC, you know, so it was a while before, like 3-4 years. But yeah, Hogan's just, I don't know, still selling the game. I mean, you have people who will just believe it, and then we all tweet about it. Can you believe he's lying again and telling lies? He doesn't give a shit. So again, I mean, he just looks like he's drunk too. I'm not gonna lie, allegedly. Right? So here's grapple clips. What the? And here's people have asked, I think people have tweeted this to Jim Cornette before and been like, what do you think about this? And use this to try and defend like AEW and shit. Which is totally fine. But yeah, let's watch this and let me know what you think about this.
And from bouncing Burns to these wrestlers from France who really are up in the air. Called Lunar Wrestling 2000, it was presented for the first time at the Palace of Sport in Saint-Ouen.
So here's the thing. They're using these trampolines or these like moon bounce things to like get into the ring. Right? But then they go in there and they're hitting like suplexes and shit. So it's like, all right, they just had a cool, they all Sin Cara it into the ring or what? Like, I don't know. This is pretty fucking dumb, but it was just a cool way to get in the ring, you know? I don't know about the work. Let's look at the work if they do anything silly. Oh, so it's like it's like Rey Mysterio's entrance.
It provides ideal spectator sport, and providing you get high enough, it saves having to scramble through.
I mean, here's the thing. That could almost be like a stipulation. I wouldn't want to watch it, but a stipulation where it's like, hey, the ring's surrounded by launch pads or something. I don't know. The work ain't bad, like in the ring.
The wrestlers are projected into the ring by a springboard powered by compressed air. Wrestling was well underway 5,000 years ago. It's obviously catching on by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't like shooting off that thing into Poison Rana's, you know, to the outside, doomsday drop kick. Everyone lands on their feet and super kicks each other, you know? So I get it. Now, that must have took such a toll on these guys' bodies to have to land like that in the fucking ring and shit. Like, come on, man. That's crazy. That must have just damaged their knees and shit. Oh, my goodness. Here's Hulk Hogan cutting a promo, brother. He says if he was leading the pack, 100 men would easily defeat one gorilla. Now, guys, we got to be real here. 100 men would beat one gorilla. Some of the dudes would die, right? But 100 men would take out one gorilla, 100%. Anyways, though, let's hear what Hogan has to say.
Who would win in a fight, 100 men versus one gorilla?
Well, you know, if you're asking Hulk Hogan who's going to win the fight, 100 men or one gorilla, it depends on where the men are from. If they're from New York City, brother, the gorilla doesn't have a chance because I'd be leading the pack. Boom, shaka, laka, 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 boom.
Who would win in a fight, 100 men?
Oh, man. Hogan's off his shit. He's just leaning into it, as the kids say. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news. We will roll over and do some TNA news here quickly. Then we'll get into WWE and the releases, because this is some interesting stuff here developing that it's getting overshadowed a little bit, okay? So round of applause for miscellaneous news. Play a banjo for TNA news here. So, despite only appearing via video earlier in the show, Trick Williams showed up at the end of TNA and laid out Hendry.
To Joe Hendry.
So he's heel there. They got the right thing going on. Like in TNA, you want the NXT guys to be heels. And then in NXT, you want the TNA guys to be heels, like for the most part, you know? Joe Hendry's an outlier. He's an exception. He's just beloved everywhere. So obviously you just lean into that. But yeah, you just play into that. And that's the way to do it for sure, because it just creates more interest and more of like a rivalry. Because the going to war and the poking and the rivalry is good for business at the end of the day, you know, for everybody.
Joe Hendry was.
So moving along here, Indy Hartwell. So talent were released. Here's Indy. She wasted no time in like having a couple big matches, you know, one against Mercedes Moné, etc. Won a title, I think, in Australia. And then she signed right up with Impact Wrestling. A tremendous move for her. You know, Tessa Blanchard's going to need some talent, and TNA know how to book a goddamn tag division properly. So we're going to need some more tag teams. So Indy and Steph reuniting could be really good, because we never saw that play out fully in WWE, like in NXT, if you guys were tapped in way back then. But also maybe a feud between them, and then also Tessa needs challengers. And yeah, I would definitely, I was rooting this on. I was like, Indy needs to go to TNA, and I hope some of these other talent who got released find their way here too. But some of them might be scared to do that because WWE's got their fingerprints on it, and we're going to talk about that.
That I'm not here to just be another woman on the roster. Things are about to get shaken up, because Indy Hartwell has officially crossed the line.
So she cut like a similar promo. I crossed the line, you know, she's going to have a match sooner or later. Savannah Evans announced she's finished up with TNA and is currently a free agent. I know a lot of people are like, Savannah Hoovens, but she was on quite a bit. And yeah, the people, I think her other partners like dipped out. I think she was with Giselle Shaw as well. So she might show up in Maple Leaf Pro, if I had to guess, before anything else. But yeah, someone to keep eyes on, right? Like she's like I would say an NXT level, an LFG level person kind of being released out there into the wild. But speaking of returns, Mr. Stone shows up on TNA with Vix Crow, Alicia Fox, who does follow PWT, believe it or not, on IG, and has made stories like listening to PWT right now and shit. And I'm not even joking. So Foxy's here, Vix Crow, with here on TNA, and I guess she's like making an in-ring return and shit. So good for her.
Of life, another opportunity. I mean, the guy's contract is up. Let me start over. My name is Robert Stone, and you, Santino, are officially under review. I mean, look what you've done with this place. It's like the Wild Wild West.
Dude, this is amazing. We're at Santino Marella, and then there's going to be a power struggle of Robert Stone coming over from NXT. And like, dude, I used to be here, but this is trash. I'm going to take over type shit. This will be good stuff. TNA's cooking, man. They've been cooking.
There's favoritism. There's nepotism. TNA needs a leader. TNA needs someone with a history here. Someone with a vision. TNA needs Robert Stone. And just to let you know, the higher-ups have put me in charge to watch every step you take, every move you make, and believe me.
They're chanting, "Who are you?" Yeah, so I don't know. There's like a power struggle. They're leaning into it, pal. Jody Threat trademarked the Wild Child and Jody Threat. So does that mean she's gearing up to leave TNA and do her own thing? I don't know if they own that whole thing. I think that's her own name from the indies, but they might Yeah, they might own like Spitfire though or something, and maybe that's because sometimes when you see wrestlers all of a sudden they're like trademarking shit, and you're like, why? And it's because sometimes behind the scenes, and I'm not saying this is the case, but it's like, oh, they might be gearing up to leave, and then TNA's like, well, you can't be called Spitfire, and then they're like, oh shit. But I don't think they're leaving. I don't know why they would. But TNA is no longer allowing use of excessive blood or blading. Now, some people might be like, well, that's a good thing. But the thing with TNA is what made it fun, or like, I'm sure they'll still do it, excessive, right? So it doesn't mean they can't blade or bleed or whatever. But, you know, out of nowhere, you might get a flaming table or something wild in TNA where you don't really see all the time. Like in AEW, you see this type of shit all the time. In WWE, you don't really see it all the time, or like other places. So TNA will once in a while, like if you follow their show, they just typically focus on matches, right? But like standard matches, but then you'll get like a crazy TLC with the Hardys or whatever. And then yes, they have Ultimate X, and they've tried all these match types, but every week you're not getting complete chaos, you know? And so once in a while you'll get like one of these super bloody ass matches or whatever, but they explicitly say it does have to do with their partnerships and stuff. So TNA has banned excessive blood and blading during matches. Like they flat out banned blading though. So if you are a guy, like let's say you're a veteran in there, I don't know, Nick Nemeth, and you're like, I need to blade in this match, like to get Joe Hendry over or whatever. You're not allowed to make that call in TNA now. So getting a little tight. Butthole's getting a little tight over there over WWE. That's all I'm saying. TNA officials informed talent of the news in a meeting today. The decision was made to protect the health of the talents, right? Which is fair. That's super fair. As well as keeping current and potential advertisers and partners in mind. So they're gearing up, man. They're trying to clean it up to be like, we present a product that da-da-da. They're swooping in. They're trying to get a TV deal. Good for TNA. This is only good for the business. However, I will say, if they skew... God damn it. They found their identity. We don't want them becoming... They really found out how to do sports entertainment well, and some people go, well, that's WWE light, but we really don't want them becoming like full-blown WWE light. You know what I mean? But we do want this invasion stuff. And so if this is how we get there, and if this gets TNA on bigger platforms and we get a real number 3, or, I mean, not even a number 3, they would, everybody's alleging that they would likely sell to WWE as well. I mean, I don't know about that. I'm not in the fucking business meetings. Who knows? But they're working with them. So whether they sell or not, it's all, as far as Anthem's concerned. Like, would you be shocked if Endeavor like absorbed Anthem or something one day? Even like just as a whole, like I wouldn't, you know? So yeah, it's interesting. But there was a dog collar match tape this week between Steve Maclin and Eric Young. That will be TNA's last match to feature excessive blood, at least for now. But yeah, it was noted that sometimes accidental or hard way blood will happen and is understandable, but purposeful heavy bloodletting is now fully banned. So I don't know. Is that an L, chat? You guys let me know if that's an L. And then Rikishi blasted Leon Slater, TNA spot mishap. Shame on those guys. So, man, it was wild to see. Like, Leon Slater does that 450 swanton, right? Or the 450 swanton in the Ultimate X match. We played it here on the show. He splats on the ring. There's 12 guys standing there. Nobody catches him. You had one guy go, you're right, this was inexcusable, and that was Sidney Akeem. Shout him out. Reginald, okay? Scripps, shout him out, man. I fucking love that dude. I've played highlights of his shit on this show too, because yes, he's a flippy guy, but he's so goddamn good at it where it's like, let him go off, you know? That's the one guy. If you're gonna have a guy who can do that shit, you have him do it on your roster, and you have a whatever, that's my guy. I'm just running with him. He does crazy shit, man. And just impressive the way he's able to do it. There's like a smoothness to it. Anyways, I don't need to get into that. But Scripps was like, he tweeted out like, you guys are all right. This is inexcusable. Like, we fucked up, you know? Tried to get there, messed up. Shit happens, you know? I fucked up. Everyone else, and I'm not going to call out names and shit. And AJ Francis, if you look, there's an angle of the footage where literally AJ Francis saved this dude's life. One arm catches the guy last second. So, I mean, if anybody's going to get defensive, I mean, I guess I'll give him, but he wasn't even really being defensive. He was just saying like, look, dude, I caught the guy, you know, like, come on. But everybody else was just coping for like 2 days on Twitter, man. And I'm not going to go through all the wrestlers' copes, but it was like, come on, man. Like, all you guys saw, you got everyone but Sydney, and I guess AJ was just pointing out, well, look, I caught him, you know? Like, I'm the motherfucker who saved him. So Rikishi blasted everybody. He didn't blast Leon Slater, but it looks that way in this title. But he blasted Leon Slater's TNA spot mishap. Shame on those guys. So shame on all the guys involved, which is pretty harsh. But the cope was real over that. I don't know if you guys saw that, you know? It's kind of disappointing. It was like, you guys just take responsibility. Like, you got to catch them, you know? Got to catch them all, right? You have to do it. It's on you at that point. As like, it's on that dude. Okay, if he wants to do that move, great. But once you go, yeah, do that move, and you all agree they can do it, and then he goes, okay, I'm going to do it. Once he hurls his body in the air and shit, that's all on you guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's where now the trust reverts to you motherfuckers. You all got to catch him, period. You know? And it was a weird thing there where a lot of people were trying to not take accountability for that shit. It was kind of stressful, you know? Let's check in with chat. And that was TNA news, ladies and gentlemen. Rabid Wolverines LC Killer 17 for 5 says it sucks that Cora and Gigi are gone, but all of them will be fine at the end of the day. There are a lot of opportunities. Yes, there is, man. The wrestling boom's real, and hopefully this injects more life into it, right? Hopefully we get some people who run with it Cardona style, right? That would be amazing. Hey, Phil, looks like AJ's ex has been hacked. Yes, we have that in the news as well. So I was going to cover that. His ex is fully hacked, so don't click on anything. And yeah, don't check out his shit anywhere. And yeah, what is chat saying here? Thank you, Fabio El Fabio. 1800 at Collision, Eek. Yeah, that's not good. They're in like a 10,000 seat or two. We can lay content in the knowledge that right or wrong, Hogan is still indeed a liar. Yeah, Hogan. I should play this for him more, but I always get caught up doing like the brother. You know, but liar! Yeah, he is a big fat liar.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
So yeah, what's our, let me look at the clip channel. We got a shitload of people watching tonight, so let me just see what's going on. Over on the Clips channel, I tried to get 100 likes, right? It just helps the algorithm and shit. We're at 57. There's well over 100 people watching over on the Clips channel, well over almost 200. Run those likes up or Jericho's gonna come out. You motherfuckers. Okay, so yeah, what is chat talking about? Not close yet. You're welcome. Yeah, dude. I have that bookmarked, so I don't know if you really should get the credit for informing me there, buddy. No, I'm just joking. Thank you for the super chat. I love you, chat. How's your week's been? I saw Thunderbolts. It was really great. We're about to talk about the WWE stuff. But yeah, I saw Thunderbolts. It was really good stuff. And sorry, just got a text from the wife. Gotta answer that. Okay. So let's get into WWE news, shall we? Let's switch over. Bam, 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 bam. Did you guys watch SmackDown as well? That's the other thing, dude. We're not. Are we gonna review it? Are we gonna review goddamn SmackDown? Listen. Well, I got some stuff bookmarked in here. We'll talk about. Okay. I'm not going to give you the ins and outs. You get that other places. Although I do like giving you quick reviews sometimes, but, you know, the ins and outs are other people, I'm sure, got you on that. So this week anyways, right? But, yeah, and then LFG is tomorrow, so I can't wait for that. I like SmackDown, but everyone was crying for some reason. SmackDown was terrible. Yeah, so Sabs right there was crying. There's my quick review. Oh, George, Phil bullied me. SmackDown definitely took place. Yeah, it was what it was. I'm not going to break it down. It wasn't like the greatest SmackDown of all time. Damian and LA Knight were just kind of awkward. And I would definitely the Pretty Deadly match. We're going to talk about all that. So yeah, we'll leave it for the news. Okay, the hot news. So, ladies and gentlemen, and yeah, I went to the movies. I saw Thunderbolts, man. You guys see that yet or no? So follow me at PhilMarksOut if you want my thoughts on YouTube and X. It's time for, let me hydrate actually first. I need some goddamn soda water. It's parched, man. It got hot all of a sudden. So it is time for WWE news. So WWE, what should we do first here? We will do Cut Talk. We'll do Cut Talk last, okay? We'll do Cut Talk last. So the Street Profits versus DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns got 5 stars from Dave Meltzer, dude. How fucking crazy is that, you know? But I don't know if that match was like 5-star worthy in my book. I don't know. I'd have to like see every TLC match again or something. But a very solid match, no less. Definitely would have bolstered some weight on one of those WrestleMania nights, right? So sports journalist Arash Markazi reported spotting some notable figures at Wednesday night's Lakers versus Timberwolves NBA playoff game. According to Markazi's social media post, former MLB star Alex Rodriguez was seen attending the event alongside WWE superstar Charlotte Flair. So she's like already dating Alex Rodriguez. Markazi also noted that former WWE executive Shane McMahon was present at the game as well. So, yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but is what it is, man. Liv Morgan. So the movie that she was cast in, okay, is called Bad Lieutenant Tokyo. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the other Bad Lieutenant movies. There's 2 of them. They're fucking crazy, man. They are... I think one of them had to have like scenes edited out of it because they were so graphic, right? And it's just very like drugs and sex ridden, and it's pretty wild, you know, far cry from the PG era to say the least. But everybody's like, this movie is like, they're talking it up like she got in a Scorsese film or something, you know, like they're talking it up like Tarantino casted her in the new whatever the fuck movie he's making or something, like something that's going to change the game or everyone's going to talk about. Bad Lieutenant is like, I don't know if we got to look up the IMDb ratings on these shits, but let me see. Bad Lieutenant, I don't even know what the first one was. Just look up the IMDb ratings. I mean, one of them's got 7 out of 10 on IMDb. The other one's got 6.6. And the last one was called Port of Call, New Orleans, and it had Nicolas Cage in it, right? And then the other one had Harvey Keitel or Harvey Keitel or whatever. And that came out in like 92. So, I mean, not atrocious piece of shit, but just very like dark neo-noir crime drama type shit. But anyways, the thriller follows the Bad Lieutenant, a corrupt gambler in the Metropolitan Police Force who finds himself thrown into a tangled case after an enigmatic FBI agent arrives in Tokyo to investigate the disappearance of politician's daughter, Liv Morgan. So is she playing like a Japanese woman or is an FBI agent? Okay, so it's an American politician's daughter who gets brought to Tokyo. Gotcha. Meanwhile, a deviant killer operating in the Yakuza underworld seems to be shadowing their moves. I'm going to watch it, you know? I'm going to watch it. I've seen the other 2 Bad Lieutenants. Let's see. Hopefully she does really well. But as far as this, like, this might kick down some doors for her dramatically if she nails this. But just the way people were hyping this up, it was, I don't know, dude. It's like, what the fuck, man? You'd think like Marlon Brando was in the movie with her. She's in the next Francis Ford Coppola flick or something, the way people were hyping it up. But nonetheless, shout out Liv, and I'm really happy for her. We'll talk about cuts in a minute. So yeah, here's footage of like Charlotte with possibly her new boo thing and Shane McMahon. And a fake John Cena. And then Jeff Dye standing right there as well. So that's awkward because at the roast, like Jeff Dye, I don't know. I was just watching Jeff Dye the whole time. If we bring this back, okay, he awkwardly walks away. So watch Jeff Dye the whole time, okay? So he's the guy in the black and yellow jacket. He awkwardly walks away because he kind of gets cut out of this interaction between Charlotte Flair and Shane and all them, right? So he like awkwardly walks away and then he swoops back in and then Shane calls him over. And then he has to awkwardly shake hands with Charlotte Flair. After at the roast, Nia Jax was like, see, here's the real news story here. Fuck all this Alex Rodriguez shit. Okay? The real news story is Jeff Dye's awkwardness. No, listen though. He subtly crept back in. Okay, you see him, right? He like kind of creeps away. He's like, claps his hands, awkwardly walk away. Trying to get out of here. Then he waves at random people. Shane and Charlotte are talking, and then Jeff Dye was called out by Nia Jax, for talking shit about like Charlotte and everybody, because when Jeff Dye was dating Becky Lynch, he would tweet out and roast all the women's wrestlers for Becky, like using her Twitter. He'd give her all these one-liners, and like Nia called her out for that. But Nia also made a bunch of jokes about Charlotte's face, so who are we to be outraged to? But look, and then Jeff Dye awkwardly creeps in, taps Shane McMahon, and is like, I'm out. And then look, Shane's like, are you going to come say hi? And then they shake hands awkwardly, and Jeff's like, yeah, I already kind of know Charlotte. He probably already knows her. Oh, we just scoped out the real hot news there, guys. Okay, so here's Pat McAfee. He brought a wrestling ring back to his office on the Pat McAfee show.
To the office. For those that have been following along for a long time, that particular wrestling ring was purchased by me once I found out that you could buy a wrestling ring on the internet.
Sorry, for those unaware, Jeff Dye's like a stand-up comedian who's like, oh no, he's decently funny, But he's just one of these like LA comedy brats, as people sort of call them,
I believe it was my second year in the NFL. I might have been a little bit tuned up, a little bit boozed up.
What?
Late at night, found a website, and they said, yeah, you can buy a full-size wrestling ring. Wake up the next morning, kind of forget about it, move along 3-4 months, and 18-wheeler shows up at my house, says, hey, I got a delivery for you. I say, what is it? He says, a wrestling ring. I said, for who? He goes, are you Pat motherfucking McAfee? I guess is how I signed up for it on the website. I said, that is correct. He delivers that thing. I put it up in my barn. Then it went in our old office. This thing has been set up in my barn at my house. Now it has moved into the Thunderdome because we got work to do before next Saturday night at Backlash, where I fight an Austrian asshole who is strong, tough, intimidating, and a former world champion as of a couple weeks ago. So I got
people are raging that all these WWE releases happen, but McAfee is fighting Gunther, So Eric confirms that Valhalla, Sarah Logan, is set to return to WWE TV soon as well. So again, they're keeping Valhalla, but release some of these people we're going to talk about. So Keanu Carver at Keanu Carver WWE had this to say about the WWE releases. He's like, or the current state of WWE, not even the releases, I don't think, just WWE in general. And he tweets this out, probably a drunk tweet, because I don't even know what this means, but he's like, these MFs ain't ready for this. They dick eating these Samoan motherfuckers who think they like that, who be voting for Trump and ain't really like that. Right? So someone can make sense of that, hopefully. Okay?
You what?
But this is what dude had to say. And I just quote tweeted this, and I was like, I would just shut the fuck up before Jacob Fatu slapped the shit out of me. I would just keep my mouth fucking shut about that right about now. And he deleted this shit. In fact, he privated his whole account as down or whatever, or it's like all privated or whatever. So he clearly got a talking to about that. Izzy Moreno is saying, thinking about the last 17 years and what's next. And she's 18 or whatever, I guess now. And she's like LFG. So that's the little girl that Bailey used to hug in NXT. She's all grown up. She's a wrestler now. She's been working on the indies. And I guess she's eyeing up LFG as a potential place to go. She's teasing all the places, but I think LFG would be a perfect fit for her, you know? Here is literally what I was talking about. Zelina Vega to me feels like knockoff Monet a lot of the time. I'm so sorry, but look at her literally. Like she's literally doing the, and I know people be like, well, it's just a little dance, but bruv, you know, you guys know what they say, right? I mean,
sometimes in life you got to be a hoe.
So moving along, Alex Shelley took on El Grande Americano, and the winner advanced to take on Dragon Lee for the speed title. So they got Alex Shelley and El Grande Americano competing in speed tournaments, I suppose. Natalia feels that Triple H doesn't owe her a storyline. So a lot of the news was like, oh, look, she has to go out there to do all this stuff, and she's blah, 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 blah. But Natty doesn't feel like she's owed anything. She's like, the division is more competitive than it's ever been, so I understand. To be honest, Triple H doesn't owe me anything. Triple H doesn't owe me a storyline. He doesn't owe me a phone call. He doesn't owe me a text. He doesn't owe me an email. He doesn't owe me a single thing. Sometimes it's hard to say, hey, WWE writers, hey, Triple H, I have this idea. It's easier sometimes to just show them. Do you guys remember on Total Divas when Natty Neidhart was like drunkenly left Stephanie McMahon a long-ass voice message about like, I need to be the champion. This is why I'm ready for a run. I'm ready for the title. So kind of funny if you think back to then. But yeah, she's like, I've been allowed to step outside of WWE to really show the company I want more. I'm going to work for me. I'm going to work for more. And I'm going to fight for more. And man, they didn't fucking release her. So there you go. CM Punk is in this TV show with Trevor from GTA. But yeah, I don't want to get pulled for playing this trailer, but he's in this show that's coming out soon, I think, on Sci-Fi. And he's good on heels. He actually is.
I've seen you for weeks. Out. Hey.
Trying to see where he is. If we can spot a wild Punk.
To anyone of being one of these revivers, they should report any chance.
A reviver. Yeah, it's like a zombie horror.
The end of days are near. I'll let that go to waste.
Punker, dude. And I'm not going to let that go to waste. Drew McIntyre. No. But yeah, dude, there's Punker, man. He's in this show. Shout him out. And Liv Morgan, big acting gigs. WWE. So this is a hilarious story that, again, the dirt sheets just jumped all over. And then they just looked fucking stupid in the end, because not only did WWE not have idiot, they didn't so WWE has abandoned their trademark filing for Edge. Okay. Also, the tribal chief one was up, but they didn't know this till after they reported this shit, right? So the trademark filing for Edge was up, and then they just the next morning they re-upped the trademark on Edge and tribal chief, and I'm sure there were others people didn't spot. Okay. So they weren't even planning on letting it go. And then the dirt sheets tried to take credit. They're like, oh, once the online awareness was made, they got Edge and they also refiled for tribal chief. It's like, you guys don't take credit for that. You're idiots. They just didn't get around to it. Like, and there's things, listen, if the trademark was up and then they go to file it and then someone else tries to swoop in and file it quick, there's that too. Like, WWE still gets the trademark because it was theirs. Like, you guys know, it's just so funny. The dirt sheets just falling on their face again. But WWE has abandoned their trademark filing for Edge. And then right away, there's like a retraction. WWE revives Edge trademark application. So just so funny, man, how that shit keeps happening. WWE recently abandoned the trademark for the name Edge, but has very quickly reacquired the name after it was noticed online. Maybe the online shit. Logan Paul's Prime brand is now a sponsor of Germany's WXW, which is pretty fucking crazy, but good for them. Maybe WWE's eyeing them up as well. So AJ Styles got hacked. Okay, he tweets out he's been thinking about getting into crypto. Nobody click or interact with AJ right now. He put this random link in there. Look, when people realize I haven't been hacked, there's going to be some very sad faces. My next fight versus Logan Paul will be sponsored by my new meme coin. You know how fucking dumb people are? 532 likes. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, just don't interact with AJ right now because he's tripping. We have a couple other things to get to before cuts, and I'm checking chat. Don't worry. I see you all in there, but just a couple more quickies here before we get into it. So Elton Prince, he forgets to kick out because he got bloodied. He got busted open. I wonder if he's going to catch heat for that, dude, because he fucked up on that dive on Phoenix, and then he just flipped and elbow dropped. Pretty dead. Count the 3. Ref totally fucked up there. Gotta just count it like a shoot. I don't know if they're told not to, but this is something in old wrestling that was way better when the refs didn't know every fucking spot, and
absolute disbelief. Well, I understand. See the mouth front.
Yeah, that sucks. He got busted open, but the ref really botched that. That's crazy. Breaking: WWE returns to Australia this October for Crown Jewel in Perth. So Raw and SmackDown are also set to take place there. Anybody in Australia going? I saw a lot of people saying, like, dude, the fucking prices are way too high. Fuck that. But that being said, man, Crown Jewel's there, so you're going to get Punker. Who knows if he will be at the Saudi show then. If they do, like, Super Showdown there again, he could just duck out. I was under the assumption Crown Jewel would always be there. So here's another little fuck up from WWE. Becky Lynch calling them out. She reacts to WWE social media team not tagging her in posts recently, which is weird when they do this. Because they've done this in the past too, where they just stop tagging motherfuckers, and you're like, why?
It's come to my attention that the WWE social team is trying to hide my greatness from the WWE audience. It's very upsetting. But here are some examples.
See, like, they're not tagging her. So maybe there's like a new social media person lately who just has fucked up, or I'm telling you guys, man, like, if she never came back to wrestling again, I wouldn't have even been shocked. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe there's like, she's all Rebecca Quinn-ish now, and she's going to do her own thing, but clearly they're cool with it. Maybe it's just a new intern who's not tagging her. Maybe this is part of the storyline. So Becky has a reason to go and be like, fuck you, fuck the fans, fuck the company. That would be smart too. And don't put it past WWE to do that either. As we've chronicled here, man, they really use social media to their advantage. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what that's about? But she's leaning into it in a good way, like in a work shoot way, which is the way to do it. So Brandon Thirsty Thurston says that Vince McMahon appears to be resisting or delaying full compliance with discovery in the WWE shareholder lawsuit that alleges he predetermined the M&A process with Endeavor. Plaintiffs on Wednesday asked the court to order him to compel. So I don't know. I guess he's just making shit difficult. I don't even know what the fuck any of that stuff means, though, that legal jargon, And lastly, before I check in with Chad and we get into cuts, because there was behind the scene cuts too we got to talk about. It's not just fucking the wrestlers. Here's the Prototype and Randy Orton wrestling at the 4th annual Brian Pillman Memorial Show before either of them were even in OVW. You know what I'm saying? On an indie date, like.
This point had recently turned 24 years of age. Randy Orton had turned 21. So you talk about the youth movement, but already two guys that were standing out, not just for their charisma, their size, but certainly their work ethic in a big way as well.
And what you're going to see here from Prototype is a match you'll never see on WWE.
But we've never seen them in this environment, in an independent wrestling event, 2,000 strong, continuing to file in, and two guys who are cutting their
point.
And, you talked about being in the ring with Bob Orton Sr. and Jr., two guys who, it's a lot of.
Damn, Randy and Cena really working
individuals
here,
say
dude.
they make it look easy. I mean, the story is Roddy Piper told Bob Orton, and he's got to mess up sometimes just so he can pull.
2 or 3 or 4.
Dude, they've really been wrestling forever, dude. Think about how far they go back and what this Backlash match means, Okay. So let's get into the cut stuff. I'm going to check in with chat first, though. DC became a new member. Thanks, brother. 626 for 5 says, Bad Lieutenant is a showcase for directors that are nuts. I'm excited. Let her cook. Let's see it. Yeah, I'm down. If you guys know, I've seen the first two, and Harvey Keitel and your boy Cage. I'm a fan of both of those guys. So let's see it. I'm down, but quite interesting. But let's be real about the magnitude of these films, right? The way the dirt sheets were putting it out there is come on. Regina Sharp for 5 says, dude, they used to push the 15th edition of the Marine like it was Shakespeare. This is par for the course with movies. Of the Marine. Was there 15 of those? How many Marines were there? I remember 1, 2. I think there was at least, I remember 1 and 2, right? DC for 5 says, I just feel like saying Meltzer is a clown. You wouldn't be lying. No one should respect him, and he's embarrassed himself beyond redemption at this point. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a bit too,
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
We always got some stuff to make fun of Meltzer for, He always says something that's just so ridiculous. We got to play our flutes. Ray J's World for 5 says, Bad Lieutenant has nudity. Does that mean the Liv Morgan thirsty will get to see her in her birthday suit? Well, I don't know, dude. If she's kidnapped and shit, then that's not, maybe not. That's real intense, but that's the kind of movie it is. So maybe, dude. Yeah. That's why people are they'll be mind blown. Maybe she goes titties out and they're allowing wrestlers to do that. They used to allow wrestlers to do Playboy. So again, I'm not sitting here I got to see Bad Lieutenant to see Liv Morgan's titties though, bro. Calm down, you thirsty motherfucker. Okay. But what I'm saying is that
you what?
She gets kidnapped. Okay. Why? Because she's partying with some seedy individuals and doing drugs. Is she going to be doing rails and shit before she gets kidnapped? I don't know, bro. It's crazy. That's why when they're Bad Lieutenant, I was whoa, that's actually nuts. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, you thirsty motherfuckers, just relax a little, okay? Or sorry, no need for OF if true. Yeah, get you thirsty mother, you dog, okay? But no, she is a gorgeous young lady, so I don't blame you. She definitely has a look, and if her acting, go watch her get murdered in Chucky. She sells it so well, and she's playing herself getting murdered. So that's if that's any indication, Hollywood's been eyeing her up for a long time. Regina Sharp says, I think what they claim is that Vince didn't allow for other bids on WWE. He predetermined the buyer. Also, the 15th Marine was just a joke. Yeah, no, but I'm dead serious. I remember the first 2, but I know they went to 5 or something. How many more were there? But I get the joke. I get the joke. I'm just all serious Phil right now. Right. But yeah, thank you for clarifying that. The claim was that Vince didn't allow for other bids on WWE, so he predetermined the buy and everything. I mean, it wouldn't shock me again. And yeah, so that's why he's kerfuffling around, because he doesn't want to get called out for that shit. Thank you for everybody who super chatted in or became a member or liked in thus far. That's all welcome. Liked in, right? LinkedIn, liked in. No.
Acknowledge me.
I acknowledge you all, ladies and gentlemen, on the Clips channel. I'm looking for 100 likes. YouTube.com/@ProWrestleClips. YouTube.com/@ProWrestleTimes. I don't think I shilled anything tonight, so let me do it quick. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. And I'm also at Phil Marks Out, where I'm doing movie stuff. There's like 100 and oh my goodness. Yeah, guys, we're at 78 likes on the Clip channel. We're going to talk about WWE cuts, and there better be 100 likes on the Clip channel, or we're getting fucking Chris Jericho. Okay? There were 6 Marines. That's wild. That's wild. Okay, so yeah, and I wanted Husey on tonight, but he was 5 pints deep, and it's like fucking the middle of the night there, so we ain't doing that. Okay, so let's hydrate here. So beyond just the talent cuts behind the scenes, or talent cuts for like main roster talent and NXT talent and people we see on TV every goddamn week, there was a bunch of WWE releases like behind the scenes as well. Now, I expected a lot of this, and they do this shit every year, but it's like, you know, when TKO absorbed UFC or whatever, when they bought UFC, it wasn't called TKO yet, sorry. When Endeavor bought UFC, they did the same thing. They released like a bunch of UFC people who, like, Endeavor had the best international marketing, whatever. So UFC's guy doing it for them, you know, it sucks. He was at the company a long time, but they have like the best person with the best connections, and they're just going to do it for the UFC now, or they're going to train someone, or they have someone in mind that can now step into the role that, you know, and that's what happens. So you had to see this coming. It's crazy. It's more and more of it is happening, but as TKO buys up more shit, it's going to keep happening. So the coach had this to say. They said, seeing a lot of reactions to more cuts on the WWE side of TKO, many of you, but they just had the highest revenue mania ever. How can this happen? You all have to understand they have been systematically cutting WWE personnel for the last year, and it's been brutal and not talked about much. It really hasn't. They want the company to be a West Coast company. If it comes down to a UFC or WWE person in the same job, it's been the UFC employee that gets the nod, or just TKO in general. The WWE as we knew it and the family workplace for many is long gone, and it really stinks, but it's their company now, and they can do what they want. Talent will be next also. It's true, man. It's true. WWE broadcast personality Ryan Popala was a part of WWE staff cuts. I recognize his face. I'm not overly familiar with his work. I don't know. He hosts a podcast or something. But WWE made cuts in several departments, including creative services, photography, and more today. Christine Lubrano, who served as senior vice president of creative writing operations, departed the company. The belief is at least 10 to 12 staffers were cut today, possibly more. And yeah, dude, they're going to get set up in Vegas. You're going to see like an NXT Vegas PC and shit. And probably a spot where they will do that residency and shit. Like, that is coming. Brandon Thurston has this to say. Thirsty Thurston, he says, on cuts, as hot as WWE and UFC are, TKO is narrowly profitable net income last year, with Endeavor's TKO purchase, debt, and antitrust settlement taking margin down. So you guys got to remember, UFC/TKO. Okay, so they spent shitloads of money the last 2 years, okay? I'm just going to summate it like that. They bought a bunch of shit. They launched PBR. They're starting this boxing league. They spent so much fucking money on wrestling, MMA, all this shit. And UFC lost an antitrust lawsuit where they have to pay out, it was to the tune of like $375 million to all these fighters who are getting like, all these fighters sign up and you know, that you get a CTE check basically, right? And so, and it's a huge deal. I mean, this is going to happen to pro wrestling one day as well. But it takes their margin of profit down. With that being said, though, this year, they're going to make shitloads of fucking money with their UFC TV rights deals and some other things they got going on, okay? And the sale of Power Slap, which I think could be happening. I don't know, right? Maybe I should hit an X-Files on that because, hey, I don't know. I was only right about AAA. over here now. But yeah, I don't think Power Slap, I think that could be sold off sooner or later. But anyways, regardless of that, shareholder value is society's highest priority, so perceived efficiency will always come first. Now, I don't even think it's so much of like perceived efficiency. I just think this is the after Mania cuts, man. This is the spring cleaning WWE does once a year. And you're going to see more and more of that, especially with... You got to think about it. Do people get heat backstage? That can factor into all this too. Do people talk to Sheets that they found out about? That could factor into this too. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know just on face value and stuff like that, you know? So, yeah. Regardless of that, shareholder value is society's highest priority. Yeah. So Thurston, I mean, he's on there from an economic standpoint, I guess. I'm not trying to like own Thurston here either. I'm just adding context. I'm like 2024 to 2025, they spent shitloads of money. 26, they're bringing in ungodly amounts of money again with UFC's rights being up. I'm just adding context. I'm not even hating on Thurston there. Not that anybody cares. So what else do we have here? We have the releases. So let's go through the talent names here, okay? We have the names. I have like a website, Cultaholic, or one of these sites have a list of names that may have a couple extra that I don't have here. But we're going to go through these and talk about each person here and like who we think should stay. Should I stay or should I go now? As far as like under the TKO umbrella and chance it with TNA, you know, because should they do that? Is it worth it? Does TNA not want to do that? They're cutting out blood because they want to please their partners. You got to remember Nick Nemeth was on like the cusp of, this was before the full-on partnership. So they signed him, whatever. They're going to stick with him. WWE's not going to be like, get rid of Nick Nemeth. It's not like they don't even like Nick Nemeth, you know? Some people are saying, oh, they released these guys to bolster the TNA roster. I don't know about that. I think some people might be weary to sign with them because they're like, oh, fuck. You know, but if you can get paid the same or more that you were getting paid in NXT to go to TNA and still be somewhat under that umbrella, why not? It's not like people don't get second chances. It's not like some of these people aren't young and can't, you know, spend some time developing further. So, but some people have aspirations of the indies in Japan. If it was me right when I was released, so let me tell you what I would fantasy mark do if it was me, but maybe this is dumb business wise, but someone could correct me if I was wrong. What I would do is I would go get like as many independent bags as I could, like really quick while the heat of the name, like, oh, we got this person here, and I would just travel around, get a bunch, as many of like the big bags as I could, test how big my name value is, and then I would just go sign with like one of these companies, like within 6 months to a year type shit, you know. And I would just save all that indie money because you're still getting paid from WWE for 30 days. Plus, these people aren't all dumb with their money. Maybe some of them are, but I mean, it's like, I know Braun Strowman don't give a shit. But let's get into it. Braun Strowman. So sorry, this banner here is cutting off a name or two. So Braun Strowman is at the top of the list, right? Big Braun Strowman was released. So what would I do with him if I was him? He didn't give a shit. There's a post of him just fishing. He's like, whatever. Look at this beautiful lake I'm on. It happened again. You know, he can't go as well as he used to. The shit he was doing though to help get Jacob over was awesome. Let's be honest, like that just helped like propel Jacob even more. And it sort of recreated that void of like Bronson Reed being gone. But again, you have Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, and then Strowman's an older attraction. And people still pop for him big. You know, if I was him, again, I wouldn't even go do like indie shit if I was him. I would just go do you think Tony Khan would bring him in, or would you even want to see him there? Like, it's not like I want to see him in AEW, but he's an old guy where his knees or whatever, and he's good off. I believe he's got a farm and shit out down in like Wisconsin and shit. So he's all good, but he's made a shitload of money. And, you know, when you have Bronson Reed coming back and like a Jeff Cobb coming in, and it's like, do you really need Braun Strowman? I don't know. I'm not devastated that he's gone. When he was released the first time, I wasn't I was shocked, and I'm a little shocked again this time, because it's like, wow, you just kind of brought him back, and they do pay him a good chunk of money, you know, so I get why he'd be released, but it's like, damn, you know. But he's like a former world champion. That's why I say that, or universal champion, whatever you want to say, right? Like, so to me, he got propelled down to mid-carder. They just sort of booked him like Big Show his whole career, and it is what it is. In AEW, what would he do? Like, nothing. I don't think he'd fit in there. I don't think like they hate on that style. They already have Satnam Singh. They couldn't do shit with him. Maybe they do like a one-off thing on the anniversary of Brody Lee to like honor him. I'm surprised they never tried to get Braun involved with the Wyatt Six at all. You know, I think that's kind of a fuck up, but like, who knows what's even going on with the Wyatt Six right now? Yeah, so if I was him, I mean, yeah, maybe TNA would be the place. You'd go try and get some money there and just help get some guys over, and have, you know, they're doing pay-per-views that, I mean, they got 4,000 people. You go wrestle Joe Hendry or whatever, if they'd have him. Maybe they don't want him, and that's the other thing. Maybe he doesn't want to work with TNA because maybe TKO and WWE are going to start telling them, yo, we don't work with certain people, or like, not this guy or whatever. Maybe that's the case. I don't fucking know. Right? But yeah, Braun Strowman will be okay. He's made money. He'll be all right. And I really want there to be another Fed or two. Like, there's got to be some crypto billionaire stoner kid out there in LA who's just like, man, I love wrestling. Why don't I make a Fed and actually let fucking people run it who are smart, right? And I'll just play video games, bro. And then that guy can become like the number 3, you know. We got to find another one where that can really mix it up, or AEW's got to fight back a bit here if they want to be, because this would be really exciting of like, oh my God, the free agency, but we're all like, we know what Tony Khan will do with these people. I don't know if any of us really want to see that, you know. I don't know if we really want to see
This guy's Tony Khan.
People go over there, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. Braun will be okay, but I'm struggling to say, like, should he go to Japan? Like, what does he really even do? You know, Dakota Kai got released. Now, this one I think is a fumble. You have Damage Control, who are all about to come. Well, first off, let's take another victory lap in the tears of the dirt sheets, who are wrong again, freaking out about Nick Khan and the fucking benching thing, because Dakota Kai wasn't being benched, bro. She was being fired. So. And I don't mean to laugh at anybody's misfortune. Actually, this will be Dakota Kai's fortune, because speaking of AEW, she will sign there, and she will be fucking fantastic there, hopefully, and hopefully they book her well, and hopefully she wins the women's title. Maybe she's the one to take the TBS title off Mone eventually. I don't know about that. I would save it for someone you're actually building in AEW. But knowing Tony Khan, man, he's just gonna let he's just gonna let one of the WWE ladies do it anyways. So you might, you know. But Dakota Kai, I think, is a fuck up. You have so many stories. Even if they kicked her out of Damage Control and that's how she left WWE, you know, like, where the fuck was that? Why didn't you just give us that? That's crazy, man. You know, what if Damage Control comes back and then Dakota Kai challenges for the world title, and it's I don't fucking know. They had something there that they could have told, some stories they could have told. Now, some people are like, she's 37. Go fuck yourself. How about that? You guys are going to pull that? They're bringing Jeff Cobb in, who's 42. What are you fucking talking about, bro? Right? Like, don't even start that age shit, because that's where I'll really fucking roast you, you know? Sorry, but it's just got to be said. She's 37. And fucking have you looked at some of these people's ages, dude? She could still go. People are saying she's injury prone. Trust me, nobody's harped on that more than me. And I always am like, oh, I hope she stays healthy. I hope she's good. I'm always saying that when it comes to her. And I was defending WWE when she's like, I really want a singles push. I just want to show them what I can do. And I defended WWE. I was like, listen, man, when you're knees just go like the ways hers has a few times or a couple times, that bad, man, you can't put it all on that. And this isn't the steroid era. Like, yes, medical science has come a long way, but this isn't like just like Triple H just jack you up and fucking, we'll just pump you full of horse goo until you fucking, or like a science experiment and your fucking meat doesn't fall off the bone again. It's not like those days. So it's just, I get why they're not, it's hard to like push you in that way. But, we're talking about Dakota Kai, who just fucking almost won the IC title, who most people, including me, was like, she should have won it before Lyra. What do you mean? If anything, Dakota's a vet and has 5 years left in WWE, maybe, right? Like 5 to whatever. And she should have won it. And then Lyra could have beat her for it. And we could have got more out of that as well. So I will say Dakota's a bit of a fumble, man. I will say that. She can work any style, tag, babyface, heel, single, any match type, she's a great worker. Now, again, the health thing, I'm behind that, but you don't need to push everyone to the fucking moon. I'm not saying she should be world champ and she's going to change the game. And that's what everybody thinks when you say fumbled. No, man, I'm a creative. You guys know that. I always talk about the story here. We fucked up a bunch of story and a bunch of women's tag matches between a split up Damage Control where we need fucking tag teams in the women's division. And this is what I've been harping on. And this is what some people are pointing out. But again, a lot of people, I fucking harp on, I can talk this shit. Okay. I harp about the women's tag division all the fucking time, almost once a show. I'm allowed to harp on this. Other fans, I get it. They're like, fuck WWE. We're going to get into some of these wackos. And it's like, man, your passion wasn't that loud to keep these people around. Well, I've been passionate about the women's goddamn tag team fucking division. I get roasted on my own fucking show by Chris Connors because I'm so passionate about the goddamn women's tag division. So I don't want to hear no bullshit from people going, you don't really care. Yes, it's a fumble for the women's tag division. This is a big fuck up here in a bunch of ways. I'm going to break it down. Dun, 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 dunga, dung, dung, dunga. But Dakota should go to AEW, should get a big bag, should wrestle that limited schedule because of her health. So you fuckers go in her health, wrestle limited. It's not like she's going to die every time. It's not like we're worried about her life ending like we are some of these other talents who get cleared in AEW. Like Dakota fucking, it's her knees. So she's got to take it upon herself to take care of herself. She's a big girl. She can go, I'm not doing that dumb fucking spot. She can make those choices herself. But, yeah, I definitely. But when you have an intercontinental belt and you're getting rid of you're getting rid of talent who are born in other continents. You fucking restarted, Triple H. But for real, I gotta call idiot. Fucking dumb, bro. That is stupid. Okay, so Shayna Baszler. I mean, don't be shocked if she shows up with the Bumbaclot clan and Marina Shafir, like they're homies. Ronda did it even. So I would not be shocked at all. We know Tony Khan likes to bring in the shooters and shit. Now Shayna again. Well, no, I am a little shocked by this. You know why? Because of all the work that GCW Bloodsport's done. And Shayna is like, her and Josh Barnett are a big reason why WWE works with Bloodsport. So again, no one's talking about this shit. I'm the only one who talks about this shit, okay? Shayna and her manager, Josh Barnett, one of the GOATs, fucking, they are the reason why WWE has such a presence on GCW Bloodsport. So WCW isn't called. GCW brings in all these WWE people. They go over all these people. Even I praise it. We're all praising it. They fire Shayna and not Zoe Stark. Like, what? It's actually kind of dumb. It's like Shayna's a girl that right now you could shed all the bullshit, reinvigorate her career as that lady that she portrayed in NXT, Black and Gold, and she could be a killer again. Zoe's like, I don't know. People are indifferent towards her. And I'm not saying I want Zoe to get fired either, you fucking marks. But again, I'm not the biggest fan of PFC. You get rid of DeVille is one thing. All right, well, she's the third wheel. She fucking gets paid. She was a Vince girl, She got paid good money. That's why she has nothing nasty to say. She was getting paid really well, you know? But Shayna and Zoe, it's like, so that's an established team. So Sonya Deville's gone, you have Shayna left, you have Zoe. Okay, well, they're at least still a team that you've tried to establish in this fucking division. Nope. Now they're split up, and I gotta watch Zoe be a fucking baby face going after the US title or what? Like, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? So Shayna, I think she'll go to AEW, Ring of Honor. I think she wants to wrestle Athena. I think she's into that. I wouldn't be shocked if we see her in Japan run the indies. I'm not even saying we'll get an AEW like Baszler's All Elite, but I could absolutely see her going there and like having some matches or doing some, a couple appearances, whatever. And yeah, her friends, she has friends in AEW, so I would not be shocked at all. Her and TNA, that would be a good fit, though. Tessa needs some challengers and shit, but I could see it happen. Shayna could sign a short-term thing, challenge Tessa, put her over, So I see her being more of a floater. I see Dakota maybe doing some dates like back in her homelands, but possibly just staying locked up. Like she should just go to AEW for real. Tony will give her a bunch of money, and she's the type of wrestler he likes, and she has lots of like the people there will put her over. She has friends and shit there. Her and Mone, her and Tony Storm. Like if you're smart, you just see that as like you could do those matches, no problem. But Shayna, I could see like just teaming with Shafir in Ring of Honor once, or like, just doing shit like that, floating around. I think it's so dumb again that they released her when we're talking like, here's the established teams. So then the next two names, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, KC2. For months, guys, I'm like, they need to be like your top white meat babyface tag that like overcomes the big bad teams and shit. Like they actually have cool tag moves. Whenever they have a match, their entrance and shit, people are like, whatever. And then they start doing their moves and the crowd gets behind them. Right? Now, should they go to AEW? I mean, Tony Khan likes that flippy ass style and shit. So, I mean, sure. You have a women's tag division, though. Why the fuck? Unless their plan is if they just scrap those belts, then good. But you also develop these fucking singles divisions. Like, you mean to tell me Shayna Baszler couldn't fight for the U.S. title and, like, lend some credibility to that belt and shit? I just think that's wacky, bro. And then you have KC2, right? Which I've coined that name. If I was them, I stay as a tag team and I go to TNA and I get those knockouts titles and I just stay in that system. And then who knows, maybe you go back to NXT for a crossover. Maybe you go, I don't know, but I would just stay as a team for now. There's more value in them together than apart, I would say, when they leave. And you could easily come up with random names that are called KC something, Carla Carter, or Carla whatever, we just make up fucking names that are KC and KC. And then you call yourself KC2 because WWE never owned that and PWT made that up. And then boom, you're perfect, right? People know who you are. It makes sense. I would fucking do that. AEW doesn't have a women's tag division. God forbid Tony Khan creates a women's tag belts. That would be fucking insane for him to do. But yeah, that is insane. You guys have women's tag belts. If they just scrap the women's tag belts and they take my idea of, hey, at Evolution, we're going to crown women's tag champs once a year, like it's just a cup. Okay, I'm down with that because then singles competitors can team up and be tag teams randomly and go, we're best friends, right? Like in the women's division in WWE, it's just always, oh, we're best friends, aren't we? And then they just team up with the women. And it's like, no, dude. That's fucking annoying. So, but KC2, I think they have value. If they just go to TNA, they'll get pushed. I think TNA would know how to push them better. They're like raver girl gimmick type thing, And then, yeah, you just go for those knockouts titles. They're established belts. They have tag teams. They know how to book you for sure. And they need more knockouts tag teams there. Because they're running dry a little bit. Jade gets released. Now, I'm sorry, Lincoln Hawk. Lincoln Hawk's my brother. I'm sorry, Lincoln Hawk. But Cora got released. Now, Cora's a girl who you look at as, oh, she's going to be a WWE Women's World Champion. She's going to be at WrestleMania one day. Like, she's going to be up there with the upper echelon. Like, they're just priming her up to be the future of like WWE, essentially, right? Is the vibes you get from her and her booking. And then all of a sudden, you're gone. You're gone, right? As Jimmy King would say, be gone, right?
Be gone.
You're out of here. Now, that's wild to me. Now, people could say injury prone. I'll give you that one because she's early in her career. So you got to think Dakota Kai got hurt really bad, like really bad. I think like 2-3 times, but 37. This is where her age is a factor and her veteran fucking like her tenure, like she's been wrestling, you know. Cora's like not that deep into her career to be, she got hurt bad twice, you know. And again, as I said, and I don't want to throw allegedly's around, okay, but let me throw an allegedly around, okay.
Allegedly.
I got a DM with someone who just wants to add insight, whether it's legit or not, and nothing exact or anything, but it's like from talking to someone, the releases from talking, this is the DM I got. So from talking to someone, the release reasons are financial, injuries, no space for them. And this is what caught my attention. Anyone who's leaking genuine news to the sheets, I don't know. So take that with a grain of salt, but I don't know. So let's just, and I've been really heavy on that ass. And I told you guys, if what I'm hearing about WWE, the sheets are fucked this year. I tweeted that out, got a lot of traction. And I've been telling you guys, hey, when you have an influx of people coming in, and they might be cultured a little bit different than they appreciate in WWE. But also when you have an influx of people coming in, the WWE talent, especially the young people who are vocal on social media, like that one guy, Keanu Carver or whatever, talk shit about the Samoans. The last thing you want to do in WWE right now, by the way, talk shit about the Samoans, right? You work there. And, you know, some of them might be talking to the sheets. I wouldn't put it past anybody. They might get upset. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm in NXT and they're not calling me up and they're bringing in fucking Rusev or whatever. I'm saying. But Cora, I'm not putting that on Cora Jade either, but hey, people, the fake rumor about her is that she, you know, is a bit of a shit disturber when it comes to like backstage stuff, right? Some people are like, oh, her and Punk are hooking up. Now, I'm not saying any of that shit's true at all. Absolutely at all. But what I'm saying is like, maybe there is some of that in real life. I don't know. And that could be what's behind it. I am going to give WWE the benefit of the doubt. It's because she's young and has had really bad injuries early. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. Cora Jade, though, that's why she wasn't called up and they just switched to Roxanne and Julia instead of Jade. They were going bye-bye. So, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to say I'm devastated, but she's got years ahead of her. Like, she can reinvent herself and always come back. TNA would be a good fit. She's already wrestling there. But again, that door might be slammed on her because WWE gave her that opportunity. Right? But if I'm any of the people they're sending over to TNA, I'd be fucking worried right now. I'd be worried, dude. Trick Williams even, dog. I'd be not Trick. Obviously, he's too over. They're going to push him, but I'd be worried, man. But anyways, Gigi Dolan, who was recently sent over to TNA a bunch, right? I'm going to check him in chat here, right? But just let me get through some of these. Gigi Dolan, recently sent over to TNA a bunch. Bro, again, you fucked up. Not only was Gigi called up to the main roster when Vince was in charge, then they dropped that shit, but Gigi Dolan was split up from JC Jane, and her and JC Jane should have been women's tag champs on the main roster and shit, let alone they break up. Okay, then they don't do anything with that. They don't really pull the trigger on anyone. They put Fallon Henley in a group with JC Jane and this Jasmine Nix girl, and then it's like, well, what's Gigi doing? Damn, they just fucked up Gigi. So then they put Gigi with Paxley and Shotzi. I'm like, hell yes, they fucking you know, they did work with Shotzi. Like, they actually did something that gets me interested in Shotzi. Paxley fits well with them. Okay, Gigi Dolan gets released, and then they move Shotzi to the alumni section, and she confirms that they're just not renewing her contract. So they're just not picking her up, and her contract is just done when it's up, and she's just going home now. Like, they're going to pay her out, and she's in the alumni section. Okay, Mako Satomura is there as well, but she did an official retirement, of course, not in WWE. But she's no longer with them. So I was like, oh, maybe she'll be a coach or whatever, or maybe she is a coach, who knows. But Shotzi, though, bringing it back to her, she was just moved to the alumni section and is gone. So this whole Chemical X or whatever they were called, what were they called? Project X or Chemical X or Weapon X or whatever. It's just, that's bye-bye. Right, out of fucking nowhere. And it's like, but you had Gigi with a fucking team that, like, those girls could have went main roster. Like, Shotzi was main roster, Gigi was already up there, right? And then you have Paxley, and it was this weird thing where it was like Gigi and Shotzi are together, Paxley's not there one week, and then it's Gigi and Paxley tagging without Shotzi there these weeks or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, they really, I bet you they're getting rid of the women's tag division. It has to be that. I don't know what else. Or they're just doubling down on making, like, singles wrestlers just like, we're best friends, and, like, we win the tag belts so that we get shots at the world belts, and we win the IC belts so we get shots at the tag belts, which is fucking dumb. I don't care who's booking that. That's stupid. Okay? And so, like, either double down on the division or get rid of the fucking belts. Okay? Once a year, a women's tag cup. That's what you got to fucking do. But anyways, though, dude, Gigi's gone. So now, and then Shotzi's gone. So I was like, okay, maybe Paxley and Shotzi are gone. No, they're both gone, just Paxley. So now we have to explain how, and you guys have to understand, if you're watching NXT and shit, this is like, what the fuck? I get it. There's a bunch of people who don't watch NXT. So they're like, oh, who and who cares about? It's like, no, they just fucked up the whole show. Like, a bunch of the show, for real. They spent so much time with a bunch of these characters on the show. Okay. And us, like, having to get reinvested into some of these people that I didn't think I'd even, like Gigi Dolan. I was like, fuck, man, they just sort of, she's just gone with the wind now. And now they figured something out. Oh, I'm into Gigi again. Boom, gone. What the fuck? No, you don't get to just, you don't get to just be like, I don't know these people. So, you know. So Gigi, maybe she'll go to TNA's. Wentz is there. You know, do I want to see her in AEW? I don't give a shit where she really goes anymore. If her and Shotzi stay in a team, though, and go TNA for the Knockouts belts, but what are all the teams that they just cleared out supposed to go for the Knockouts tag belts? I'm losing my shit here, guys. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. Let me check in with chat, and then we'll do more of these, okay? Because you guys are piling up here with super chat stuff. Became a member for 1 month, or has been a member for 1 month. Thank you so much. More Husey or we riot. Dude, he'll be back on, bro. We just, it's just our times don't sync. We're on different parts of the planet, and yeah, he was 5 pints deep. So what I'll do is I'll set in stone a date way in advance. Because him and I are loosey-goosey. We're just like, hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to do this? You know, I'll set in advance sometime for him and I to talk about Thunderbolts for you guys, and then we'll talk wrestling for you guys too. And I'll do like a double header. Maybe we'll record it, okay? Braun can go be NWA champion. That's a really good idea. Maddie for 2. That's a really great idea, actually. Ray J's World for 5 says, used to hate talent cuts, but the partnerships, I don't feel too bad. TNA has Indy Hartwell, Xia Li, and Dana Brooke, and return to WWE as TNA talent. But do people want that? Does WWE want that? Do people want to go to TNA if they're scared that now they could be kiboshed because the Endeavor or the TKO thumbprint now? Who knows, man? Maybe they feel like they'll be not able to do their own shit. Here's the thing, though. TNA's smart where they signed the WWE folks. The one, like, okay, they use Nick Nemeth a lot, but he can go do like Australian indie dates. So some of these people can go do like indie dates too and just kind of come in and bolster their roster and stuff. And get some money matches, get some people over. But yeah, like, are they going to be all ex WWE again? TNA got away from that for a while. I mean, they've always had some of that, but they spent a long time getting away from that to where it's like, I don't know if like these main roster people or some of these NXT people want to go there. If I was Tony Khan, it would be a travesty. He wouldn't know how to book a women's tag division, but maybe you just do it. Maybe you create some belts and you just sign up a bunch of these girls. Would you guys want to see that? I don't want to see that. So I don't want that, in the fucking famous words of Theo Von. But yeah, Indy will be there. Tessa needs challengers. Line them up. Lincoln Hawk says conspiracy theory for 5. Let me hit you with a fucking X-Files. It's all a plan to load up the TNA roster, helping TNA hurts AEW, and it's like the Allies versus the Axis. You are right, and they are sending in WWE presence to be like, oh, this place needs to be whipped into shape, and they're booking it so that the NXT guys are getting booed, and maybe they... But here's the thing, though. You're saying they release these people to bolster up, so why wouldn't they just, like, send them to TNA and make a thing like, oh, they're released? Because like all these people put out press statements too, not press statements, but a lot of people tweeted shit out. Like they got fired, bro. So let's say they get fired, and then WWE's like, oh, but they'll all sign to TNA. But what if they don't? Right. But here it's really telling, though, that WWE's like, well, we'll just let go of all these. Like, we don't give a fuck really the level of some of these people anymore, because we know AEW is going to fumble and fuck it up. Right? But if these people do sign with TNA, you have to understand how some of them might be weary not to. But if they do, then yeah, it'll just boost them up. And then if all's true, like it's easier to get a TV deal if you have Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan and all these people who've been on TV in TNA, right? Like it fucking helps a lot when you're like, well, these guys have been on fucking television and Netflix and stuff. It helps, you know? It really does help. Lincoln Hawk is gifted 5 Pro Wrestle Clips membership. Manboy EX, Braun could hurt people. He could be, or he could. I just don't think the AEW, like, it's funny because the AEW fans would call him the sports entertainment of sports entertainment. Like they would try and clown him for being, you know, WWE to the core, man. But then if he went to AEW, they'd all be like, Braun Strowman, Adam Scherr, the Titan, bro. Like they would be all over his nuts, you know, like when Sid went to ECW. Ray J's World for 5 says, I agree with Luke Hawks, Lincoln Hawks. They are helping TNA with talent. But then why wouldn't they just send them there? Why wouldn't they offer them, hey, we want you to go to TNA and we're gonna give you a pay cut. But the opportunities are you're under a TNA contract and you're free to do whatever, and we'll let you use your name. We won't not let you use your names. Like already Cora Jade's got her old name back and shit. Why wouldn't they do it that way then? Right? Because it's not that. They're just releasing them, guys, because it's fucking talent cuts. You're going to see this after Mania every year. And listen, people are like, are you devastated and shit? Like, I use the word fumbled. People are mad at me. I used to listen to you, but I literally got people like that saying crazy shit to me like that. Guys, it is a fumble. They fucked up the whole women's tag division. They really fucking did in that regards. Now, if they're just scrapping it, okay. But some of these storylines they could have paid off. You mean to tell me Dakota Kai couldn't have had a storyline before she left with Damage Control? They couldn't have even ricocheted her. Asuka comes back, turns her back on Damage Control, stomps the shit out of Dakota Kai. She's gone forever. Io Sky has to fucking fight her now. Asuka versus Io for the world title or whatever. Kyrie turns on Io, whatever. Drops 4 insane elbows on Dakota. Dakota's gone. You mean they couldn't have done one thing? Like, come on, bro. That's fucked up. That's a bunch of storylines getting fumbled, and I don't care who has what to say about it. You know what I mean? I'm going to stick to that. I'm not saying these are all game changers, man, but I'm the guy who said it. Don't be shocked if Miz gets released, guys. Okay? And other people, like, you know, I'm willing to fucking go out on a limb and say shit like that, and people are like, Miz will never get released. Don't be shocked, man. Next year, there's always next year, right? And they're making more and more cuts, and maybe they're just not interested in having like mid to jobber type. They want to present everyone as a threat to the title or in a title contention. And if maybe they're just looking at these people like, hey, we're paying Cora more than other NXT people who are better than her. That's the other thing too. WWE's the cool place. You have Stephanie coming in and Julia, and maybe they're just looking like, well, we don't really need some of these ladies. I'm not dissing, but Zelina Vega's running around on SmackDown with that U.S. title. Like, come on now. You got Stephanie, you got Julia, you got other ladies Roxanne Perez, who can like really work, you know? So anyways, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this list here. So Eddie Thorpe, indigenous brother right here. He's a bit of a wild boy. And I don't know, man. Maybe he'll go back to Japan. I'm not like uber shocked by this one, but it is weird because they like reinvented him kind of as a DJ, and then he like had the strap matches, and he just also got a win. Didn't Eddie Thorpe just beat like Trick Williams or something too not long ago, bro? Craziness, man. Craziness that they would just like, if you watch NXT, this is like, what the fuck? Eddie Thorpe is gone, you know? And then they just brought Chase U back, but they fired Ridge and shit. Not Ridge, sorry, Duke Hudson. And it's like, what the fuck? And then just to put Chase U back together. Like, well, what the fuck is the point? It's so dumb. Some of these moves in NXT, I don't know. And I don't know if some of these people talk to Sheets and shit. You know what I mean? And Eddie Thorpe has been vocal on Twitter a couple times about shit, and I don't know if they like that. Shout him out again. Where does he go? TNA, I think he'd be a good fit there. Good fit in TNA. Maybe Japan again. I don't know. Japan, because that's just a given. Like, if you go to TNA or AEW, you're allowed to go to Japan. You know, if you go anywhere, fuck. WWE lets you go to Japan now, you know? You're allowed to go to Japan. So, yeah, I don't know if he should sign to any company or if any indies will want him or anything. He's also like a DJ. Like, I think that's a shoot side gig. So, I mean, he'll probably just parlay it into that. Javier Bernal. I mean, whatever. I'm not. That's just like a guy who's been in NXT just kind of floating and he just doesn't make the cut. Okay. That's not like devastating. I don't even, not overly familiar with him. Oro Mensah. Now, again, they split up the metaphor. So, you know, Noam Dar comes back. He wins the Heritage Cup. Lash Legend is like, Noam, you know, we got to split up the metaphor on the last NXT. We watched the clip on the last live show. And it's like, we got to split up. Like, I'm going to focus on me. Noam's going to do his thing. Oro, you need to be seen as the star you are as a solo. Yo, Jakara, you're going to do your own thing. And it's like, what? You know, first off, Jakara is so good. So good. Like that. You think that the metaphor is as good as they are without Jakara there with her lollipop in the back? Like, come on, man. Her and Lash Legend together. Like, okay, Lash Legend's a big, strong, giant girl. We fucking Rhea Ripley. What? Jade Cargill. What? Bianca Belair. What? Fucking Piper Niven. What? We got a bunch of those, bro. What made her dope is that she was that in the tag team with Jakara. Metaphor, okay, they split up and the Meta Girls do their own thing. And that's one thing, storyline-wise. I was interested to see, Jakara, maybe the draft's coming up, and so Jakara goes to Raw and Lash goes to SmackDown, and that's their plan. No, bro, they fucking fire Oro Mensah, okay? Now, he's decent, but it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Why axe a super over entrance? Like, everything that sports entertainment, WWE wrestling fans love is like cool entrances and music and characters and all that shit. That's what Metaphor was. That's literally why that's wrestle good. Split that up, that's one thing. But then to just, again, the women's tag division must be gone, because I know I'm jumping ahead, but Jakara Jackson, gone, man. Okay? Gonzo. And so is Oro. And so you have Noam and Lash that they want to push on their own. Cool. I mean, I'm down with that. Pretty insane, man, that was just on TV. Like, that was their farewell. And then WWE didn't even tell them that was their farewell. WWE didn't even tell them that was their farewell. They went and did that segment, and then they get released fucking 2 days later or whatever. That's pretty crazy, bro. You know, to give us that moment on TV. And if you've been watching NXT, you're like, well, what is Metaphor going to all do from here? I'm curious. Where do they all go from here? Oh, they're just gone. Show's over. It's like, bro. You got to be real, you know? So also, we'll jump ahead a bit, then go back just a little bit. Riley Osborne just got released. Okay. So he's a guy that they've been sending to TNA since the beginning of this whole shit. Okay. He was in Chase U. I thought he was already this one I saw coming. But then they put Chase U back together. So why the fuck did you let go of Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne? Because you have some fucking LFG kids or some Evolve kids who could take their spots for less money and be in Chase 2, right? Chase. Like, come on, man. Why even put that shit back together? That's so ridiculous, man. And then Thea Hale just stagnates because of it. And then Andre Chase. It's like, how did he make? Like, how the fuck is all Chase U go? And then they revive Chase U with Andre still. It's just, I don't know, weird to me, man. But I'm not shocked by that one. And then finally, Gallus, Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, and Joe Coffey, who they've been using to get over on Evolve, like get young guys over on Evolve, to train young talent, which they've been doing forever. They literally helped get The Rock in shape and train The Rock to get ready to come back to pro wrestling. And then they cut them. So that's pretty savage, man, because Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, and Joe Coffey literally helped The Rock get back in ring shape and go over his matches and his match and shit for the for WrestleMania last year. And yeah, they do a lot of like working with young talent and stuff at the PC and getting people over on Evolve and making younger guys look credible. And they seem to fit well in that role. But for some reason, WWE just said, fuck them, and they're gone. So it is what it is, man. I'm not like devastated Gallus is gone. They would have been cool in the tag division. Like if you have Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and you have some of these teams, right? Like Fraxium and shit, then I think the Coffey brothers could have worked on the main roster as a duo, maybe on the world tag title side, you know, as like the mid-lower team. Got that, and that's totally fine. They'll be okay. I 100%. So I didn't predict for some of these people like Javier Bernal. I don't know where he goes. Oro Mensa, TNA, I think would be a good, just go to TNA if he could, like just character wise. That's what he does well, and that's what TNA does well. Riley Osborne, I mean, I don't fucking know. I have no clue where he goes or what he does. Jakara Jackson, I think if I'm AEW, again, they don't know how to make stars, but I'm scooping her up and developing her into a fucking star. You know, like she's someone that I'm building up over the next 3 to 5 years as like, she's going to be one of our main people in 3 to 5 years, you know? And that's what I always thought for Lash and Jakara. I saw them both as they're going to have a tag run, then they're going to split up, and they're going to both have fucking awesome singles runs. Like, so even with Cora going and some of these ladies, it's like, what the fuck? But the Kofi brothers, I am willing to bet money we might see all of Gallus, like the grizzled young vets or whatever. Like we might see all the Gallus boys in AEW, but like Ring of Honor. They'll go fight for like the tag belts and the pure titles. But again, I see them like I see Shayna Baszler. Like, I don't know if they're all elite, but I see them being guys who like wrestle on the Jericho cruise and fight for the Ring of Honor tag belts and, you know, maybe do a spot in Japan, maybe go to TNA, maybe, you know what I mean? Like they'll be guys like that. I think they'll float around, or maybe they just get signed straight up to Ring of Honor, whatever. And yeah, I just want to make sure that we covered all of the names because I know version. I'm not sure if it encompassed all of the names that I had screen grabbed there, but let's just see. Main roster. So Dakota Kai, Strowman, Baszler, Carter, Chance, NXT, Jade, Dolan, Thorpe, Jackson, Osborne, Mensa, the Kofis, Javier Bernal, and Danny Palmer. So Danny Palmer, do y'all remember her? I know I didn't, because when I did my hired or fired, I think I fired her. But yeah, Danny Palmer got released. Now let me look her up, because I believe Danny Palmer is the girl. Yeah, so she should go to AEW, and I'm going to tell you why. Danny Palmer, every time she wrestled in NXT, and you can go back and listen to my reviews, not that you see too much of her, but every time she wrestled in NXT, my joke was like she was doing her AEW tryout match, right? Like she just go in there and start doing all the buck shit and just do it. Like she goes in there and just starts fucking flipping, landing. She's missing flips, landing flips, you know? So that Danny Palmer girl 100% should go to AEW. They'd love her there. Tony Khan would be like, this is great. And, yeah, you know that Tony's licking his lips over this. You know he's going to bring in a handful of people, right? Her BF is Tank. I don't know. Every match of Danny Palmer and Evolve is terrible. Yeah, bro. That's why she should go AEW. She's always doing her AEW tryout match, bro. That's how we word it, right? Like she's always just doing ridiculous shit where you're like, why would you do that and shit? So I'm not hating, but yeah, I'm not crying over that one. So that's the one where I guess it's like, we'll wipe our hands of it. So Nixon Newell, Tegan Knox WWE, who Tegan Knox WWE still says, imagine releasing talent like that. Place is fucking insane. So she's taking some shots fired, dude. She's
You fucked up! You fucked up! You fucked up!
Scarlett Bordeaux says, yes, Chamber of Horrors will continue with Shotzi and I. We just filmed Return to Hill House, Goatsman Bridge, 1322 Maple House, Sally House Garnett. Yeah, my wife's into all that shit. Coming soon. Yeah, good for them. I'll give them a like. Good that if Shotzi can stay on. Is that a WWE produced thing? I forget, but so Elena Black, FKA Cora Jade, says, see you in 29. And she says, dropping out of high school at 15 to chase my dreams was scary, but I'm so thankful it worked out for the time that it did. I got to live out so many childhood dreams, go so many places, do so many things. And most importantly, I met some of the most important people in my life that I know I'll have in my corner forever. Yeah, I mean, if I was young like Cora Jade, though, I'd just be like, I'll be back. Give me 3 years and you'll see me back there, you know? I would just talk mad shit. Like, don't worry. Unfortunately, it didn't go how I envisioned, and I'm disappointed by a lot of things, but I can look back with no regrets and know I did everything with love and passion and always stood up for myself, even in the times I was scared. I'm proud of myself for that. With all that being said, trust that this is not the end and only my new beginning. I have a lot to say when the time is right. No, so she's going to burn the bridges. I have so many ideas, and I'm excited for the future. Yeah, I bet we see her in AEW doing all of her ideas. That's the vibe I'm getting from this post. Take the bag to live out all of her new ideas or whatever. Because let's be real here. It sounds like she's like, I stood up for myself a bunch, so she might have been one of these folks with problems in the back, you know, on her end. I have so many ideas, and I'm excited for the future and to be able to show what I truly am capable of. Elena Black is back from the dead, bitches. See you in 30. And then tweeted out a picture of herself holding a Divas title when she was a kid. And yeah, see you in 29, she says. So 29 days. And yeah, it's 30-day no competes, not 9. That girl, get your GED. But yeah, dude, it's nice 105. Yeah, dude, Jericho is going to do a run in. Get him up to fucking 100 on the Clips channel, and we'll get a Jericho run in. So King Coda, Charlie Girl, says that she's trying to get through all the messages. And man, whether it's from friends, family, colleagues, coaches, you guys, I feel like the luckiest girl in the world. That's the stuff that matters. I got to make memories, create the best friendships, and travel the world. I'm beyond grateful for the opportunities. Gonna take a little time, but just know we are far from done. I've been ready. Let's go. And then she goes, notes app makes me cringe, but the point stands. Yeah, Natty's like, I'm so excited for you to train in the dungeon. Let's keep building. Yeah, she'll be good. Dakota is gonna land on her feet. And yeah, she could even use the name King Coda. She fucking should use the name King Coda or like Charlie Coda or something like that. That would be awesome. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was WWE releases and WWE news for tonight. So Plinian says, allegedly it's 30 days for NXT and 90 for main roster. Good. So, yeah, Dakota Kai's got 3 months, and then NXT folks have some 30 days. So that's good. Good for them. I'm going to check in with chat and a little bit more, and we are going to dive into a sicko segment that isn't terribly long, but we have some meltdowns, some reactions to all of this and some other releases, because AEW's been releasing people too. You know what I mean? So we'll take a look at some of this. So I want to see Pukes in chat, but also, hey, Philly Phil, I hadn't heard it officially confirmed, and I don't trust the sheets. Charlie Coda and Stardom or Marigold? Yeah, maybe. Not allegedly. That's the way they do it. Yeah. 105 likes. Hangman. Okay, let's see. Talent that's hasn't gotten over. Worry about yours. Sid Nixon. Tank Abbott. Yeah. Shotzi and Tank Abbott. Danny Palmer can replace Sky Blue. No, they got. Oh, am I cutting out from time to time in chat? Fuck, I'm sorry. Did it happen a lot or what? I should have been looking at chat. God damn it. Hopefully that's not the case, chat. Let me know if it's been all good. Shotzi's retiring or what? What the fuck is a Paragon? Isn't that a Pokemon? Cora Crutch is going to be talking mad shit on her next pod appearance. OF shortly after. Yeah, she's already talking about doing OF. Oh, yeah, I don't know if we talked about that, but she's already talking about that. And it's like... Yeah, Shotzi's just not being renewed. Just now, again, still happening. Fuck. Give me 1 second. Doing a run-in, Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild. Yay!
Hopefully that fixed our problem. Can you guys hear me good? Yeah? No? Yeah? Hopefully it's good. Let me just quickly... Yo, okay. How much do we need to donate to get the lead singer of this song to sing Judas? I don't know. Figure it out. Let me know, and let's do it. We'll raise the funds. Sounds fine now. Okay, yeah. And folks pay to watch him do that. Now I can't hear it all. You're fucking trolling. You're trolling. Yeah, no, is it fucking up? We're just gonna have to go with it, folks. I don't know. Mike's just being shitty. Okay, yeah, you fucking trolls. You troll demons? Okay. Well, we have sickos to get to. We have AEW news to get to. We got Dave Meltzer shit to get to. It's fucking up. Sounds good on my end. Oh, it's not fucking up. Thank you, Mike. You gotta come a little more specific than that. Your audio's Dave Meltzer is on Dave Meltzer's. I'm gonna call into my own show. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Let me get my phone and I'll just call into my own show really quick. With a corded telephone, right? Okay, chap. It is time. Wait, hold on a second. Manboy EX for 2 says, per Meltzer, you had a 30% rise with the Jericho act.
Yeah.
It was 30%, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the sicko segment. So Glenn Gilberti gets into it with Elbu. We'll talk about that in a minute here, actually. But this guy here followed me like previously, then unfollowed me and blocked me after saying this. And he responded to me being like, bro, there was fumbles here. And he's like, I forgot my ability to mute words. And this is when he's following me. Thank you for reminding me. Time to add a few to avoid this idiotic river of tears for mid-carders that had 5 mentions during the same time frame prior to yesterday. Y'all don't care and didn't care. Just want a reason to bitch. It's like, bro, I haven't been talking about the women's tag division the whole last year, yelling about it every show. Okay. And I was like, bro, you're crying harder than anyone. You wrote a whole paragraph explaining your philosophy on blocking a word. And then this goes, what I hear, I'm a dumb effing retard with an uncreative vocabulary. Me, the queen? Fuck you. You're probably another Sean Artard Sap alt. Then he called me Sean Sap, bro. Of all people. Right? Who's going to tell him? Who's going to tell him how badly Sean Sapp hates my fucking guts? So we have people freaking out, though. Like the hashtag We Want Cody account. They're like, fuck TKO, fuck SmackDown. We watching Collision tomorrow. Like, first off, no, you're not. And second off, We Want Cody is all elite. Like, being a mark for yourself, bro. A little bit, huh? Pretty cringe, man. These meltdowns are pretty fucking ridiculous, you know? So speaking of AEW, we have this dude breaking this down, I guess. He goes, what a great all-star tag match. And this guy's just making fun of it here. That's so bad. That shit's so bad. Oh my god, it's so indie. Indie Hartwell. It's so indie, no Hartwell. But then you have idiots like Tuke Timbo, though. He's like, Dynamite beats SmackDown! And it's crazy because they talk about these dumbass. First off, too, this is Westall votes, so this isn't even a real thing that he's reacting to. So he can't even read. And then also, it's funny how these sickos are like, with the max numbers, it's like, okay, then use with the Netflix numbers. SmackDown's doing like 3 million people, if we're you know what I mean? NXT's doing like 3 million fucking people, if you want to count that. So it's pretty crazy. But he's like, Dynamite beats SmackDown because he adds 30%. That's what this Tuke guy does. And our guy Ben Bishop, who is on PWT, and we did a funny interview. He did an interview with this Tuke guys thing, and he's like tweeting out, oh man, Ben Bishop. It's like, bro, he makes fun of literal retards like you all the time. And it's pretty funny. And I'd love to see that. I'm sure Ben just trolled the fuck out of him. But yeah, dude, it's crazy when they do shit like that. And just makes people hate AEW more and more. So Glenn Gilberti had a couple things to say. So Glenn said this. He says, there is a common sense potential outcome when someone around 200 pounds jumps off the equivalent of the second floor of a complex and people are supposed to catch him to break the fall. My question is, what do you think that outcome might be? And then Disco quote tweets and says, the takes by wrestling fans and even the wrestlers on this show beyond a shadow of a doubt that wrestling draws a considerably crowd of dumb fucks, supreme ignorance, supreme stupidity. No, I just think people on social media are fucking way too egotistical. And when you lean into it, it can be funny. And when you play it up as part of your fucking, you know, it can be funny and you can troll with it. But a lot of times, like, people are just overly self-important and they don't understand shit. And so they want to talk about it. I think social media attracts a lot of mentally ill motherfuckers. And I don't know, George Capture came with the facts, Glenn. If you studied the business, you know that WWE fans rank among the most intelligent, but they're also dumb trailer trash who can't afford shows. The best guys, Tony Khan. But yeah, according to Dave, man, they're all dumb fucks. But according to that study we read here on the show, WWE fans have the highest intelligence. So I don't know. Elboo, though. Elboo. Our fucking sweet honey Elboo here. Okay.
You just made the list.
He says, if you're not a prospect, a big star, or a name crossing over from AEW, you're fucked in the current WWE, and that really sucks. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're in AEW and if you're not a prospect, a big star, or a big name from WWE, you're fucked in AEW too, buddy. That's how it goes. You just named all the things that they want and then go, you're fucked if you're none of the things they want. Like, no shit, dummy. What a dumb thing. Developmental cuts for the talent that never improved is one thing, but WWE has basically decided we don't need tenured, steady, good veteran hands. Bro, maybe if they fucking cut like all the veterans, bro. They're literally bringing in Jeff Cobb, who a week ago you'd be saying, if he wasn't coming into WWE, Elba would be like, Jeff Cobb's a steady veteran hand. They just brought in Malachi Black, Rusev, and Jeff Cobb, who are steady veteran hands, bro. So, like, what are you talking about? Fucking Elbu. He never has a good take on anything, even when it's like we're on the same side of these cuts are pretty savage, right? He can't help himself but be a dumb idiot. And they're eventually going to come to regret that ruling long term. Those are the actual people that play a major role in getting your chosen ones over, getting them heat up wins, etc. Who are the prospects and the stars supposed? No, Elbu, because you cry when these people lose on TV. You fucking cry about it. And if they got called up and they jobbed them out like you're saying, oh, they're just steady hands who could lose, you'd cry about that too. So no, there's no pleasing you. That's the problem. For me, it's pretty simple. Absolve the women's tag division or fucking bolster it up. Or don't, like, you know what I mean? Oh, you have women's tag belts? Bolster the division or get rid of the shit if you're not going to do that. My shit's consistent. You just start crying if they didn't fucking, if, whoever got called up and they didn't win all their, you'd fucking cry about that. Those, heat up wins, pin on TV when you clear out the vets and the good hands. When you clear out the vets and the good hands, bro, there was like 4 vets released, right? We just read it on the show. Do we have to pull it back up? Right? There was like 4 vets released, and there was like 12 fucking NXT people released. What are you talking about? All the vets in the good hands? Who? Which? Name one. Dakota Kai? Yeah, that fucking sucks. I get it. But which one? Who are you talking about? You guys cry about Ridge Holland. Oh, you mean that vet in good hand who gets everyone over in NXT? You guys cry about him? So what, Gigi's supposed to do that so you guys can cry about her doing that too? Fucking clowns. Glenn Gilberti says the word grifter has been thrown around in wrestling a lot lately. Funny thing is it's been used to describe the actual veterans, but this guy actually personifies the definition. Facts, cook 'em. An empty vessel Mark that acts like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, it's he uses the Meltzer vernacular and shit. Just clown behavior. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our fucking sicko segment with the wackos, featuring the wackos. Featuring the wackos as well. Let me check in with Chad, and then let's do some AEW news. How about that? Some AEW. AEW. Some AE triple. How about that? Let's check in with chat, though. That's what we got to do. I got to hydrate, though, guys. We must hydrate, drink lots of water as it gets nice out, folks. Let me check in with chat. Disco could have a career voicing Kermit the Frog. So the Miz isn't a steady veteran hand in WWE? Exactly. If Elbu were to test today, what's in his system? Oh, I don't know. Just dumbness. I feel like AEW has some quality talent, but they don't deploy it correctly. That's the biggest problem. They have a tremendous roster. I wouldn't say the best in the world, but if they didn't cut anyone, Elbu wouldn't be crying about people being benched. That's what I mean, right? So, they're benched. Okay, so now we cut them. Now you cut all the veteran hands? Who, Riley Osborne? Like, what are you, fucking stupid? Who's a veteran hand? Fuck you talking about, man? Braun Strowman? You don't want to see Braun Strowman. Those are the guys you hate. You know? I just don't get AEW. They just no sell, like Tony Storm, Adis. Yeah, they no sell is right. Prime Kenny all day over Will, and I'm not a he's all day, bro. Prime Kenny could have been one of the best in the Fed as well. I truly believe that. I'd rather be called a retard instead of sap. Well, I got called both, so we. I got called both, so. Oh man. Aaron's totally real. If this is Aaron Imholt or someone trolling as him, says they think Cody is buried and isn't going to get the belt back. They're truly retarded. Yeah. None of the cuts you look at and say I can't see why they did that. I can't see why. Oh, right. Well, overall, though, yeah. Here's the thing. Ready? Overall, if they abolished the tag division, they justified every single one of those fucking cuts. There's no reason, because all my gripes were creative, and I know people go, you don't care about... You guys gonna tell me I don't talk about the women's tag division? You suck my dick, bro. I fucking yell about it all the time. I get roasted all the time for it, okay? Because people think it's just Bullocks, or however you say that. Sandra Bullocks. And I'm like, no, dude, bring in the Tonga twins. Bring in everyone, let's fucking bolster this division. I bitch about the AEW Trios division, too. Like, why you just slap those belts on people as, like, temporary belts for them to get other belts? Why don't we fucking get some trios cooking here, Anyways, sorry. AEW could be smart. They could play it like UFC, where UFC does a card, and they have 12 matches, and they go, well, we're trying to feature... Pretty much they try and feature one match from every division, and then you get but obviously you can't always do that, but you want to try and feature some of all your division if you can, right? And sometimes that means you got to just like sneak a shitty heavyweight bout between two chunksters on the fucking prelims or whatever, but just to showcase, right? AEW could do that. Well, here's our trios match, here's our whatever. They could do shit like that. They don't do it. Just pisses me off. Speaking of AEW, trio sucks. Yeah. Trios does suck. Anyways, though. And it's also dumb because trios is what they're called in Mexico. 6-man is what they're called in America. I was calling that out a long time ago, too, which is very Markish of me. But speaking of Markish, let me chug back some soda water. I have this fucking Clementine, like an orange. It's like orange flavor. It tastes like shit. It tastes like fucking melted down orange peels or something. Okay, and then we'll get into some AEW news. So everybody, let's get a This Is Great.
It's great.
And we'll get an Ichi ni Sanda.
Ichi ni Sanda. Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
For AEW news, ladies and gentlemen. So Ricochet says that WWE ruined his love and passion for pro wrestling, whilst AEW helped him regain it. Ricochet says, or this guy says to him, dude has won 0 world titles since he's arrived. The main reason he jumped ship. Ricochet says, no, the main reason was that the WWE ruined my love and passion for the sport that I grew up loving. AEW helped me find that love again. Here's the problem is that AEW is not the sport, though. Like, for all the people in AEW who are like, the sport of pro wrestling, but you all want to have less fucking dates, do less pro wrestling, get more money, and not help. Like, you guys get what I'm saying? Like, WWE's the cream of the crop. People in NHL don't go, oh, man, I just really want to go win the AHL title. Oh, man, I want to go win the fucking Calder Cup. Hey, brah, let's go to play in the KHL in Russia. Unless there's a fucking lockout. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to go do that. So it's like, no, bro, that's not the fucking reason. The whole sport thing you guys try and pull. No, AEW's not the sports-based wrestling at all whatsoever. But yeah, I guess he fucking really hates WWE, man. So just shitty for him to burn fucking stupid bridges. Like, nothing lasts forever, dude. Josh Matthews is now working for AEW. Matthews has been working in the production trucks of late, helping to facilitate between the production team and the coach's producer. We may have talked about that on PWT before. I know I heard about that a while fucking ago, but I don't know if we talked about it because I don't think any sheets came out and said shit. But I think we did bring it up where we're like, oh, he could be useful. And like, I mean, fuck, he's better than Excalibur. You know, for years, it's like, oh, Josh Matthews is the worst on commentary. Will he be better than Excalibur? So hopefully he's helping back there. He deserves a job in whatever pro wrestling company. I mean, he can only help AEW. You know, it's not like, and if he's a yes man, it's not like one more of those kills everything. But AEW Dynamite ratings for Wednesday's show rebounded from last week's record lows. Dynamite averaged 629K viewers, so up 21%, with a 0.16 in the key demo per Programming Insider. As always, these numbers do not include the Max simulcast. The show, and then people are doubling it and shit now, man. 129K with Max, or 129 million with fucking Max. The show is number 5 for the night in prime time on cable. Year over year, Dynamite's down 11%, with the key demo down 33%. About 30, Brian. I'm telling you guys,
Brian,
the old heads will be watching AEW. It'll be all the old heads watching AEW. So Samantha Irvin says her music video is shadow banned on YouTube after mass reporting. This is fucking false. I tweeted this out. I don't know if some people are mad at me. Some people were shitting on her very harshly. Like, I didn't do this. Man, I ain't mad at Samantha. I know she fucking blocked you, boy. Like, she searched herself because I didn't fucking tag her in anything. And I wasn't even trashing her that hard, but I was just like, oh, she fucking, this is so cringy. Because she tweeted out to someone that Michael Hayes said I would be a good booker. And it's like, bro, there's no way of why'd you show him your notepad of fantasy booking? Like, he was being nice, right? And then she blocked me for saying that. And I didn't go, I wasn't like, dumb idiot. But I did say, this makes me cringe out of my skin. I did use those words. I'm sorry. Okay. I do like Samantha, but I've been very critical of her. And I feel like I've broken down her situation, I think, better than anybody. I don't know if anybody's broken it down the way I have, just in terms of like, listen, these doors have been slammed in your face already. You already were on The Voice. You already were on America's Got Talent singing. You already had a run at these were slammed in your face. And because of those doors being slammed in your face, you found yourself as the GOAT of pro wrestling ring announcing in a short fucking time. And now you want to go back to these doors and try and bust down these doors that were slammed in your face. I don't know if that's a good move. I'm never going to tell you not to do what makes you happy, right? And I've always supported her decision to go. And she's obviously going to be in AEW. She's going to come back to wrestling. They always come back. But ultimately, though, she said her fucking song was shadow banned. Now, we watched the video on this show, and I talked about how, bro, the views ain't that fucking, they're not that good. We talked about this on the show, bro. And I said it too. Swerve's numbers aren't that good either for his video, because the music business, and I didn't even put this on AEW, but it's like, bro, the wrestling fans aren't going to follow you to your music unless it's about wrestling. You know, if every one of her songs were like, I'm singing about SmackDown, I'm singing about Raw, you know, then maybe people would fucking, but like, I don't know what she thought, all these wrestling fans she accumulated. And she said it too, that she had a mission of posting thirst traps to get to the certain follower count to open up some other doors for her and shit, right? And that's what they do, just so y'all know, like, they do that. Hey, guy, like, they tell, especially female people in Hollywood and shit all the time, they tell people, like, post thirst traps till you get to 1 million followers, and then this, like, they tell that to everyone, comedians. I'm sure it happens in the wrestling business too, right? Just post thirst traps, you get to 1 million followers, then you stop, clean up your shit. And so she clearly had a goal of whatever her goal was when she was posting thirst traps all the time. Also, I was spot on. I was right about when she posted that picture of her and that, and everyone's like, OF. And I was like, she's shooting a music video, because that's what she was doing. Okay. And that's what it was. And the music video, we watched it here on the show. I actually enjoyed the music video. I actually enjoy the song as well. I really do like it. And it's just good lovemaking music, honestly. And she's not bad by any means. She's not a bad singer. She's not a bad flute player. The music video was good, but what is she the best singer? Is she the best dancer? Is she the best flute player? Is she the best? Is she the hottest out there that makes that twerks her booty and shit and music? Fuck no, man. So it's like, you don't even have that going for you. And I'm not dissing her at all. I actually enjoy the song. I actually really think she's incredibly, immensely talented, more talented than fucking 95% of the people walking the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like artistically and stuff, but you don't have that going for you. You take out ads on World Star. Like, it's not 2013 anymore, bro. Like, I could have told you that. Like, this is what's crazy. I used to work, like, I do digital marketing and shit. I work with musicians and stuff. You market them on Spotify. Like, So I pulled the numbers, bro, and this was sent to me too, by the way. I don't go sleuthing for anybody who's like, oh, you sleuthed out her numbers. I'm not saying anybody said that, but no, honestly, people send the shit to me. So no, I react and I go, your Spotify numbers. I could have told you this because the numbers on the music video weren't good. And so what she did was the numbers weren't what she hoped. And I'm going to explain this to you guys. I'm sorry. This is what I do here. The numbers weren't as good as she hoped. And this has happened in music time and time again. So maybe you gaslight some wrestling fans about this, but you ain't about to gaslight me. They didn't do what she hoped. She pulled it down herself. The people in the comments, if there are people commenting, we reported it. They're fucking trolling you. They're fucking trolling you, okay? Because if it gets mass reported, YouTube is quick on that shit. And her video went right back up like 10 minutes after I made my post. But I just said, yo, this is false. It just got no hits, just like Swerve's music video, because the music industry is seedy and cutthroat, and it's impossible to make it in, which Samantha knew already before she got into wrestling. This is the thing. She knows this, bro. But that's her dream. She really wants to sing, and I'm never going to say don't chase your dream, but music is so hard because it doesn't matter about talent or anything. It's about it. Can you go viral? Which here's the thing. Even going viral doesn't do it because everyone goes viral now. Going viral isn't even the same as going viral as it used to be. You know what I mean? Like going viral, there's like semi-viral. There's like levels to virality. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have 250,000 followers, I could never hear about you my whole life. And you could be making tons of money and having a great living doing whatever you do with your 250K followers. You know what I mean? Like everything's niche now. And so the whole thing is like this, man. Viral is really like, okay, if you go viral, cool. But that option's off the table, really. They didn't even spend their time trying to get on like Spotify curated playlists or anything. They fucking took out an ad with World Star where World Star Hip Hop said WWE Ricochet's wife is thick, bro. Like that was the post they made about her music video. Guys, you don't fucking pay to get your music on World Star anymore. That's such a dead scene, bro. Like that's so ridiculous. They didn't get on any playlists. They didn't spend any time like sending this out. Like if you're really trying to make it independently, bro, and you got a song you want to get out, you got to, bro, there's so many steps to that shit that people just to even get on a playlist that'll get you 100,000 plays, let alone, guys, we're going to look at her Spotify numbers, and this isn't a clown. This is just to back up what I'm saying. So I just said she's immensely talented, but that doesn't matter in the music industry. It doesn't, bro. You got to bend over for the devil, bro, in music. I'm not joking. Like, if you're not the best singer, the best dancer, the best flute, but here's how she can parlay this. And let me add a positive at the end of this, which I will. Okay? I will do that, I promise. But anyways, I say if you're not the best singer, the best dancer, or the best flute player, and you don't bend over for the devil, you ain't going to make it. Her and Ricochet took out World Star ads and everything, and they humiliated the couple. And the reason I point that out is because I'm not trying to say, oh, they did all this brilliant marketing. And maybe I worded that wrong, but I'm trying to say, like, bro, they did all like the not right thing you do. Go to World Star with your fucking like. The only way to make it in music independently in 2025 is to spend shitloads of your own money or have a label spend shitloads of money on you. Then you owe them all that fucking money back. Okay. Or you have to go viral. And even that doesn't work. The music industry is about who can have the most money spent on them and who's willing to say they know you. That's all it boils down to. That's the biggest artists. To have a song play on the radio, bro, is so much money. You guys have no idea. Or maybe some of you do. It's so seedy and gross, the music industry. She wants that, though. She wants to get down with that. If you want to be an indie artist, now here's the light at the end of this tunnel. She can parlay this into doing shows like Max Caster and the Guns and Fozzy and shit if she wants to. She can go tour around with AEW and do shows in the towns they're in and have crowds, I'm sure, of a couple hundred, few hundred, 400 show up, you know, and watch her sing at like a bar or wherever, and wherever they're doing an AEW show. She could totally parlay it into that and make some good money, and that's a good foot in the door musically, you know. But it's tough, man. It's just really tough. And like, I don't know. I feel like people, I don't know. Maybe I just care too much, right? Like, why do you care? Why I don't. Maybe I just care about her. I was a fan of her. I don't want to see her fuck up. You know, I don't know. But 8K. So she 8,729 plays. Her other song, Make Me, 12,270 plays. Her other song, that was her big Samantha the Bomb. I'm playing, here's my flute solo. I twerk. Here's me thirst trapping. I'm naked. I'm singing. It's a really good song. I got great production, a great music video. Bro, she went out of pocket for that video too. Damn, they probably charged her a shitload for that. I'm not even joking too. Like, man, when you independently pay to get videos made, bro, it's not worth it. Like, I'm telling you, bro, it is crazy. But anyways, I tweet this out. 8K on Spotify is abysmal, and I'm not talking shit, bro. This isn't shit talk. It's just the truth, okay? But it also solidifies what I'm saying is true. You don't get shadow banned on both YT, on YouTube, and Spotify. She never got any curated playlists or marketed this thing right. If you think wrestling is oversaturated, try getting into music, folks, right? Try getting into YouTuber music if you think shit is oversaturated. Trust me on that. And just like that, it's back up. Literally like 10 minutes after my post, she posted it's back up. And I'm not doing this to roast her. A lot of people in my responses were like, fuck her, she has main character syndrome, or she has denial or whatever. And I had brought that up. Like, we did an episode where I was like, hey, is Samantha Irvin the new Aubrey Edwards, as far as, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go harsh on her, man, because that shit's embarrassing, bro. But let me put it this way. If you think that's bad, then if she is offended by what I'm saying about her music right now, then you don't want to make it in music. You don't want to be at that level where Beyonce, Rihanna, Drake, then you don't really actually want music like that, because this comes with that 10 times worse. I'm at least I really enjoy her song, actually, because it's gotten stuck in my head a couple times. I won't even lie. And it's really good. And she's really immensely talented and beautiful, but the fucking she had it, bro, by the balls. She was the GOAT of wrestling ring announcing in like 3 years. Why go back to being the bottom of the bottom of? And if you can't handle this sort of criticism about your music, you're not. That rejection just gets worse. And she knows this. She's already had The Voice and America's Got Talent and all of that stuff slammed in her face to where she found herself in pro wrestling. Really think about that. That's like huge rejection, you know, and not shitting on her. I'm glad she found wrestling, but fuck, man, they have the freedom. They have the money now. Let her do her thing. Shout her out. And it is a shame. But don't say you're shadow banned now. That's what musicians always do. They always say, I'm shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. I've worked around so many who fucking, we're shadow banned. No, bro, you're not good. You know what I mean? Like, my music video is completely shadow banned on YouTube. You're not Joe Rogan. When Joe Rogan had Trump on, they shadow banned it. Like, for real, where it went to like invisible, contact YouTube, and then you're like, oh, we contacted YouTube because of the mass reporting. We'll prove that. You know what I mean? Let's say you did contact YouTube because of mass reporting. It doesn't mean it fucking happened. I can start a chat with YouTube right now and they'll get right back to me, right? I'm a partner with YouTube. I don't even know, is her channel partner with YouTube, right? I don't even know if you have a direct line to them, if that's what you're saying. Like, if you're not partnered and you're getting mass reported, then they might just nuke your channel, but the video's back up. So, and if people are in the comments saying we reported this, then shame on you. If people did report it, fuck you. Because that's fucked to report or false flag YouTube videos. That's just clown shoes behavior. But I think they're trolling you. Okay. Because why don't they mass report AEW and just get AEW's videos all pulled down? Because it doesn't really work that way. Okay. So, and that's why it went right up after trust me. Okay. I've worked for channels way bigger than mine, gotten paid salaries to help them figure this sort of shit out. It's sort of what I do. It's how I got in everyone's faces in the first place with an audio wrestling talk show. I'm an anomaly. I understand fucking YouTube. That's how I was able to do it. I understand I knew how to get my podcasts in everyone's faces, even on Spotify and shit, because I understand that stuff. It's from my background and stuff. So I'm just telling you, hey, I hate to be the one to call Samantha out on that, but I had to be the one to do it, man. Someone's got to spit the truth. Moving along. Mercedes Monea in the latest edition of the Monea Mega, hopefully hinting at All in Texas versus Athena Palmer. So Athena. So I told you guys it's them at All in Texas. That's why they paraded her out there when they announced we're going to fucking Texas. No Brendan Schaub. It sounds great, except for the last part. And so Mercedes says, Matcha was one for the books. Athena stepping back from the curtain. All I could think was, wow, imagine the incredible stories we could tell if we had a pay-per-view. Match together. That's something I can't wait to build towards in the future. And while she's rocked that ROH title for over 800 days, I can't help but think how great it would look around my waist wrestling. Yeah, dude, she's going to take that belt off Athena at All in Texas. You heard it here first, folks. Been told you. Monet says more about it. She says, facing Athena was not just a match, but a dream come true. I've admired her since our indie days. Her creativity and innovation in the ring are truly unmatched. I still remember the excitement when Sarah Del Rey told me Athena had signed to NXT. I was eager to one day share the ring with her. And finally, that dream became a reality. So, yeah, dude. They got to throw down. She's going to beat her, though. Unfortunate. Mercedes Moné. You know, Sean Ross Sapp, speaking of Monet, you know, Sapp is like doing damage control. People are saying, I'm not overly familiar. Like, you know, Sapp came out and was like, you know, her creative control is blown out of proportion. It's not. Okay. So I don't know why they're writing these fake stories. It's weird. Well, I don't know why. Of course I know why, but it's like, you guys see them reporting on like, oh, trademarks, like shit that's public information any of us could look up. Right, that's the Dirt Sheets news now because, well, you guys know why they're being cut out like horribly, right? Like horribly. And some of those names from the WWE cuts that might shock you, maybe they were fucking stooging and we don't know, right? We don't know too. So, anyways, but Mercedes Moné regarding claims of exercising creative control. This is via Fightful to make sure she wins matches. Sources in the know within AEW and New Japan both denied that type of thing ever happened and said they've never heard of her having creative control. Then that's a lie, or whoever told you that's lying. A source familiar with both said she hasn't turned down losing because losing hasn't even been broached. Both companies had plans to push her heavily. They chalked up Mercedes' claims of creative control to be largely in character. Yeah, or they're lying to you, but no, she's not lying. She definitely has creative control. Other people do too, to certain degrees. And yeah, if she's never been discussed losing even once yet, then you guys are fucking up, and New Japan and AEW have the worst bookers in the history of wrestling. Yeah. Maybe not. Oh, this is great. What do you mean? Give me a soda water. Need a soda water. Soda water break here. We'll check in with chat. Ray J's World for 5 says, Tony Khan, I'm going to hire Braun Strowman as Time Cop. My favorite movie, Time. Oh, and then I know Braun Strowman as Time Cop and Oro Mensa will be RoboCop. And we'll see who is the best cop. All the cops. And Cedric Alexander, you could be Beverly Hills Cop, and we'll see who this Halloween head to head against NXT. Oh my god! Fuck, man, shit's ridiculous. Checking with chat a little more for a second. She's 5'3", 105. They book her like Goldberg in his prime. Yep. Hey, Phil, can we get Rhea in her undies? Bro, you go look that shit up on your own time. Mercedes was the third man. Walking into Thunderbolts, bro. It slaps, okay? Check it out. I'm going to do a review for that over at Phil Marks Out. Can we get Mercedes a yellow bandana? The CEO gimmick is basically a repackaging of, well, it is the boss, the Hurt Syndicate. It's all the same Hurt business. It's all the same stuff. Moving along. So Wardlow has filed to trademark Wardlow. Rumors are over Mania weekend, he met with some people as well who might be in WWE. I don't know. Contract tampering. But either way, man, Wardlow's doing the damn thing. And I'm glad he owns that if he didn't before. And hopefully WWE sign him up. They let a bunch of people go. Right? Let's scoop this guy up here. Last week's Dynamite. Neckbeards points out, he goes, I hope Jason Solomonster has a lawyer.
You fucking mark!
Dude, look at Jason Alexander's Canadian Alexander Strong style walking weapon merch. Right? And then look at Solomonster sound off. The AEW merch team fucking sucks, man. The AEW merch team fucking sucks, bro. They're terrible. They are terrible. So someone sent me this. They sent me all of these things here, and someone sent me this. I guarantee we won't see the same energy. And so Sap back in the day, right? So EJ and Duca versus Cruz in a dark match in AEW. And if you remember, EJ and Duca was saying, he was like, I'm glad to be hired by a boss that actually cares about talent and doesn't blah, 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 right? Like he's going at WWE, and he's trying to jump on Swerve's nuts and shit. And so Sean Ross Sapp tweets out, glad to see EJ and Duca getting matches. And then Sapp tweets out again, EJ and Duca, they pulled the rug out from under many wrestlers because he wanted to spend on hush money. Like trashing Vince and saying, oh, a bunch of wrestlers got the rug pulled out. And this is after EJ got released. But it's like, bro, you were real quick to talk to Fightful. It makes us curious because they did stooge tests then. And it just makes people curious. And that's like when Dijak. So if you guys don't remember back then, I saw with mine own eyes Dijak talking to a dirt sheet and DMs. I seen it. I have it. I have the screen grab. I'll never stooge which one. But I defended Sapp when everyone dogpiled on him. I was like, it wasn't Fightful. But then Dijak ran and did an interview with Fightful. And it's like, okay. And then he got all mad and defensive about it. And it's like, well, that's why people think that he was stooging to you. And that's what people think when you, I don't know. It's obvious. Like some of the wrestlers, man, might get cut for stooging purposes. You always have to keep that in mind. I'm not saying EJ was doing that, but it's just awfully, he went to bat for this guy so hard. And they're just mad because the wrestlers are the only ways they get WWE scoops. Okay, none of the writers or anyone's talking to them, or befriending them and shit. It's some of the boys are the way they get scoops from WWE, and they're unable to do that the more WWE locks shit down, right? And yeah, that's why you'll see them talk about public trademark shit, and then TNA, they think they have there's no blading or whatever. They'll have the scoop on TNA shit. That's TNA. EJ outright confronted inequality and mistreatment in NXT. He has been about this from the start. And then the last one, EJ and Duca is a free agent after his AEW contract has expired. Fightful has learned. So fucking Nduka runs to Fightful to go, hey, my contract expired. Right? So just remember when you see dirt sheets cover certain people favorably and certain other people not favorably, you guys already know you're not stupid. You've caught on to the shit. But yeah, so he just, I guess, ran to Fightful to be like, hey, AEW, let me go. So what did AEW do with him? I'm curious to know, EJ, and you can come on this show, bro. I like you. I got nothing again. I'm not overly familiar with you, but I'm curious to know, did Tony ghost you? Let us know that. I would just love to know. And that's not a shot at you or anybody, but I mean, it would be ironic and you would look kind of silly, for saying like, I'm glad I work for a boss. I think we have the tweet here. She put out a tweet, right? What did Nduka ever do? Go on Ring of Honor and shit? Like, oh, a dark match on Collision. Okay. Did you get ghosted before he released you like everyone else, bro? Because I know that does happen to like everyone. So I'm really curious if he did. EJ, let us know, bro. Tweet it out. Tony Schiavone praises AEW CEO Tony Khan and the influence of many, the influence many of his ideas have had on modern wrestling. So listen to this cope and this fucking hilarious shit. So Shivani on what happened when with Tony Schiavone says, right now, Timeless Tony Storm is the biggest woman star that we have. And that's because it was a character that Tony Khan developed. Tony Khan came up with the idea. No, bro. No. See, Tony Schiavone just, again, the character itself is fucking dumb. Anyone who comes up with that character is fucking stupid. It got over because of the performer it was given to was able to turn it into something good. Okay? So if Tony came up with it and the character was great, but Tony also doesn't get all the praise for that. The Undertaker, you can't just give that gimmick to anybody. Mark Calloway got it over, though. He figured out how. So again, this is like weird cope. Like, no, that's because Tony Storm, you know, but Tony Khan came up with the idea. RJ City took the idea and wrote some scripts for it and everything, but it was Tony's idea. And he comes up with some very good ideas for us over the last 6 years. If you think about Stadium Stampede, is that a good idea, bro? If you think about the double cage, he didn't come up with that idea. We're going up on top of the double cage. That's not an idea he came up with, bro. He's come up with some very, very good ideas for us. Whoa, bro. This is what I mean. What happens to people there? Shivani, what? You're not this fucking stupid. Like, what is Shivani talking about, chat? I don't get it here, dude. Like, he invented a double cage and going on top of a double cage. What? He didn't invent those things. Those aren't good ideas that he came up with.
Are you sure about that?
That's shit people have just been doing. That's like me going, oh, you could go up on the Hell in the Cell. Oh, that's a really good idea. What the fuck, man? Oh, my God. I go back to this Timeless thing. It was an idea he had from watching a movie. He thought Tony would play a great character, and listen, Tony Storm home run. Just remember the modern era of wrestling. Tony has had a profound influence on that from what he's put on TV. What? What, bro? They renamed War Games Blood and Guts, and how is that?
Guys, Tony Khan.
Where else do you see people doing what Moxley's done? Where else have you seen an exploding super kick with a barbed wire boot? They haven't influenced shit. They're not cool. They sell 1,000 tickets to every show they go to because old people watch them. Jesus Christ. But wrestling has changed, and it's changed for the better when Dynamite started back in 19. I think some people would argue that wrestling's gotten worse since then. But yeah, here's EJ and Duca saying, I'd rather work for a boss who is genuinely excited for your future and development. Oh, really, dude? Because he fired you and he didn't develop you whatsoever and didn't do shit with you.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
So I hope you are really excited, and I hope you're glad that you burnt bridges in order to just get fired over here. Like, Tony's not a sure bet, you idiots. Jesus Christ. I'm not calling Duca an idiot. I'm sure he's a good, but it's just in general, like, you guys, don't be stupid, right? Like, think this through. Who waits at the end of the ramp for everyone to congratulate them instead of one who ignores you or buries you for trying to be different? Y'all don't even know half. All you see is the end product. Okay, but with this WWE Unreal and even with LFG, where the guys fuck up the match and then they get their asses reamed out, they do that because they need you to be better. And you say you want to be the best in the world on TV, so they're going to do that. It's like, Gordon Ramsay, right? He walks into a fucking restaurant. Or like John Taffer, let's say he's a good example because John Taffer has like an over 80% success rate with Bar Rescue. Like, either those bars get sold over and are fucking continue strong, or the people stick with his plan and he has an actual like really good success rate. So let's use John Taffer. The reason he comes in there and yells at everyone and calls them dumb fucks is because, yes, it makes for great TV, but also he's not going to sit there. He has 1 week to fucking change your whole business and fix all your interpersonal bullshit relationships. He's not going to sit there like a therapist and be like, let me tell you, and milk your money. He's got 1 week. He's getting paid the same either way for the episode, bro. He's coming in there screaming, calling you a dumb fuck, and trying to break down the barriers, get you all to realize where you're fucking up. Medicine tastes like shit, but it's good for you, bro. Makes you feel better. It's like Buckley's, right? Tastes awful, but it fucking works. Okay? The truth hurts sometimes, and it's harsh sometimes, but you have to hear it sometimes. Okay? We all have to, and it sucks, but the reality was maybe you just weren't that good. Maybe what you were trying to do different was too different, and maybe Tony Khan thinks that too because you're gone too from there. So it sucks that you had to burn the bridge, man, but it is what it is. Thekla's agreement with Stardom has expired, and she is effectively headed to the U.S. So again, we spoke about this Thekla lady last show. I'm not overly familiar. But those spoken to within AEW believe that Thekla is headed to the company. WWE has had their eye on her around the time they had signed Julia to the company. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let the bidding war begin, pal. WWE just freed up a bunch of money, so you know what I mean? No, they're still paying people out, so yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe Thekla comes to WWE. If she goes to AEW, she'll just be another person, but you know, Monet will beat her, and then she'll be a floater. And then, you know, we'll be like, where's Thekla? I can't believe Tony Khan's not using Thekla. You know, that's what's going to happen. So, Buckley's Robitussin, same shit. Okay. You're speaking Canadian. Advanced ticket sales for AEW Forbidden Door in London's O2 have passed 1 million. So good for them. $1 million gate. Nothing to shake a fist at. Again, the Bucks are back, so that's like cool, you know. $1 million, that's like 1/10 of their salary this year, you know, but it is what it is. It is expected to end up as the third biggest gate in AEW history. So good for them for doing that. Legit. And hopefully Will Ospreay main events or something. The O2 crowd will like that. Tony Khan has praised Ricochet's heel run in AEW and believes that he is one of the best characters in wrestling today. He's fantastic. He's an incredible wrestler. He's also a great talker, and he has a great personality, and it's about giving him an opportunity to showcase that. He certainly really leaned into it and has found himself, and he's building one of the best characters, I think, in wrestling, which is the villain Ricochet that we see on TV right now. He's one of the most compelling and interesting people in wrestling, in my personal opinion. I'm proud that AEW has Ricochet on our roster for years to come, and hopefully forever, because that guy is a star. I love working with him, and I think Trevor is one of the best wrestlers on the planet right now. So maybe he's a star. Some people argue a star can actually draw, because even I'll say this person's a star. No, they're not, Phil. So I watch what I'm saying when I throw the term star around. However, Ricochet has been pretty good, man. Like, he did what he said he was going to do. He's like, I'm going to go reinvent myself a bit and show you guys another side of me. And he's done that. I mean, you want to see him get his ass kicked. So that's the whole point, right? So he has done a good job, you know. I'll give him that. But one of the most compelling characters in all of wrestling. He's great. It's like, it's not that, but you know, it's definitely different. So Cope says it takes him nearly 1 week to walk normally again after a match. I know. Let's have him jump off the cage. I know. Do a Canadian destroyer onto a spiked bat. Takes him 1 week. Like after you wrestle Garcia, how's that worth it? And yeah, this guy liked it too a while back, like liked by EJ and Duca, the judge, finally off of AEW's bench. So someone tweeted that out, and then he liked it. You know what I'm saying? So even now he's getting frustrated there. Oh, I'm on the bench. You know, that's what happens, bro. You don't fuck around. Like $100K high-speed Collision 4-way match. The winner gets $100K. Tonight on Collision. I'm sure you guys enjoyed it. I've been just doing my show. I'm not really locked in, but I hope Roosh won the 100K. Good to see Sammy back. That's because Monet's likely not there tonight, or she taped her shit back. If she was only backstage, chat can let me know. That means she taped her shit. And then you have AR Fox and Kevin Knight. They're not gonna get these dudes over at all. Like Kevin Knight and Bailey and shit. Like he's in random 4-way scrambles and shit. You're not going to get him over this way, bro. It's disappointing to see Tony fuck up every good prospect he gets, man. One of the pillars. He's a fucking afterthought Ring of Honor tag champ. So here's Mercedes Moné confirming she has creative control.
Yes, I have creative control. Yes, I have creative control.
So she does. So listen, dude, in the title of this, I wrote AEW's Unwanted by Max, and that's becoming more and more clear. WBD, if it lasts until 2030, I think we'll be lucky, you know. If this James Gunn shit flops, which if the rumors I'm hearing about what the Superman movie is really about is true, that shit's going to flop hard, dude. And the DCU's fucked, and they're just going to sell that shit to Disney. We're going to have Disney making Batman movies and shit. And I'm dead serious. This is what we're talking about here. And I know it's like it's wonderful and everyone's great and everything's great with AEW, but then they're over there making deals with Amazon and shit on the side too. That WBD takes a little scrape off of. Why, man? I don't think everything lasts forever. I'm not saying AEW will never go out of business. Never. And I'm sorry to Awful. I keep telling Awful to just write his book in fucking volumes because it's like it's never going to go anywhere. You don't get it. Like Tony Khan has set in stone a way for it to never go anywhere. A and B, he'll never run out of money. Will it be on TNT forever is the real question. I don't know if it will. You know, will there be a TNT forever at this rate? Who fucking knows? But anyways, probably because there's brand recognition behind it, but these things can sell and move and flip and flop. But anyways, BJ Bethel goes, what content Max will emphasize moving forward? Okay, well, here, this is what a Max exec, I guess, told him. But we can't trust this asshole. But he says a Max executive told him Netflix and Amazon won. So a Max executive just said Netflix and Amazon beat our ass. So even Amazon's drawing more, which we know. We look at the Nielsen, which these assholes try and use, and we still own them with that. Okay? But Netflix and fucking Amazon took out Max, essentially. They won this battle. We want we want to be the service you add to Amazon and Netflix. Do you guys hear that shit? AEW's getting 1.268 million on the fucking
fucking mark!
The Max numbers. They're trying to become stars. You mean that shit that Heels was on and we can't even get a third season, folks? Max is trying to become an add-on to Netflix. The way, you know, when you click on Disney Plus and it's like Hulu, right? That's how it is in Canada, or it's like Stars or whatever the fuck. Here's our adult movies. You go to the other section. Max wants to become that. Oh, but 30%? One NBA level numbers, Brian. 1.265 million. 30%. But I thought fucking millions of people watch AEW on Max. So they want to become an extension. So they want to become the service you add to Amazon or Net. So you get Amazon Prime because you like to order shit. And then you get Amazon Prime movies for free, like the show service. And then you get free Max is what they're fucking talking about. Or you pay a little $4 extra, you get your Max. And they're trying to talk about AEW do 1 million on fucking Max. Bro, you cannot make this shit up. This year has been fantastic for Dirt Sheet Failure. It's way too good, dude. I just eat this shit up, man. It's been fantastic for Dirt Sheet Failure, bro. I'll never get enough of this. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, right? So BJ Bethel adds some fucking context to this. So Casey Bloys, and he names a fucking name here. So I'm not going to believe your lie numbers because you can't name names, but now you're naming names. Huh. And he goes, Max has been out in the market. An assessment of what subscribers were watching. We did a lot of research and focus groups. The things subscribers want from us are HBO programming, scripted dramas, comedies, documentaries. So everything, you fucking idiots. The pay one licensing window movies. Like, so, hey, you can pay and watch Minecraft or whatever on fucking movies, library movies, and basically the Warner Bros. TV library. Yeah, dumb fuck, stop pulling Tom and Jerry and shit. Wants to watch. We went through all the data and showed it to David Zaslav. The great thing about David, he looked at it and said, okay, let's figure out what we're going to do. So they don't say sports in there. They don't say AEW. They don't say, oh, yeah, they really want our fucking NHL stuff. They're not saying they really want Dynamite and live Dynamite they do in Australia. and we can replay it after the fact. They don't want that. They looked at the data and said there's no AEW in there, no wrestling. Oh, but we want wrestling. We thought millions watch on there every week. They didn't even bring up AEW, and they want AEW just in total. I mean, their total viewers have been so great for us. That's why they're shopping. So, guys, let me just fucking break this down. So, AEW went and shopped their pay-per-views. So the pay-per-views weren't even available on Max, even though people pay for Max. And then they go to Amazon and go, yeah, we could go through here. And Dave goes, about 30% increase. And then fucking this guy goes, Casey Bloys goes, yeah, we want to make Max an extension, like an add-on to Netflix or Amazon. Literally names Amazon. And then they go on and talk about the things they want, which is HBO and all this shit. So all that stuff, realistically, we could actually make money from it if we just fucking gave it to Amazon and they paid us for it to be an add-on to Amazon. Where was AEW's pay-per-views? They don't even name AEW or Pro Wrestling in this shit. Oh, the Max deal, it's so great. Looks like it wasn't so great. Looks like it didn't really turn out that well, and immediately they went, holy fuck. This ain't working out, man. Amazon, get on the phone quick. Do you guys want AEW? That's what I'm telling you guys. AEW stay alive because Tony's pockets will stay alive. But this is like comedy, bro. This is hilarious. This is fucking hilarious. And I'm just laughing because it's all these sickos, right? We'll get the new one, March, April, May. We should be getting the April one soon of this Nielsen, the Nielsen gauge, okay? And WBD is down here 1.5%, and they had to make it all WBD, not just Max, because Max was like 1.2% or whatever. So we see that, man. We know. We see like, you can't lie to us. Now the Max people are coming out going, it's all fucked. We want to become an extension. We want Max to be an extension of Amazon. That means they're fucking up. So that means AEW is not doing this crazy business for them. And that just proves all these fucking sickos wrong. Immensely wrong. In AEW news, the last bit of AEW news we have, and then we'll play some flutes. We're going to head over to Cafe de Renee. Okay. And we're going to watch this video, Cafe de Renee, and Paul London, who absolutely fucking buries Okada and is like, Okada's the biggest waste of money. He buried Kenta recently too, which was pretty crazy. Before we do that, 626 for 5 says, what did you say here? Sorry, wrong screen. Why do Tony and AEW pussies need so much affirmation? Oh, come on. That's not very fair. I watch AEW. Has any org had to save their hand held and hairbrushed? Has any org had to have their hand held and hairbrushed as much as this roster and owner? Fuck's sake. No. The answer is simple, brother. Nope. Where? I got one right here. I don't know if you guys heard it, but we'll get a no pop too. No, nobody. Nobody's had to be coddled this much or had this many excuses for. Is StreamYard glitching out? Yeah, sorry. Is this mic fucking up? Yeah, sorry, I haven't been looking at chat. If it's been glitching out, I apologize. I had to fucking fix it earlier. Just tonight's show, man. Everyone's streaming. God damn it. I'll try and fix it again really quick here. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild. Yay!
I can see 2 guys when a double dose of Jericho tonight. How do you guys like that? It's a record. I think 2's the record, so maybe we'll get to 3. No, but StreamYard's being super fucking glitchy, bro, and I'm trying to adjust here, but we're gonna have to rock with it. It's gonna. I love when you guys tell me that because editing the clips is gonna be fucking fun when I hear all that shit, and I'm like, fuck, what a waste of time this will be. But here's Paul London burying Okada. I don't know if we'll listen to this whole clip here, but yeah, I definitely want to hear what at London Foo and Shadow Cafe do, Renee.
Don't get it. Like, anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on AEW wasting someone as talented as Okada, basically making him a stooge for the Young Bucks and a comedic character? Do you think he made a mistake not choosing WWE? I know
Is he talented?
Is he talented?
Is he good?
I've never been in the ring with him, but he's got a beautiful drop kick, a nice top rope elbow.
He still has all that?
I don't know. Did you let him do it, or did you take it away from him, or what?
I have no idea. I think that is one of the biggest wastes of money on TV, because if you're paying him that much, then you should be getting something back. But I don't know anybody who gives 2 shits about
Oh, I don't care about that. I just love him, you know.
motherfucker on a show, at least in the States. Nobody can even point him out of the lineup. He's one of the most, he looks as intimidating as they do, you know, so I don't know that
I can just imagine how mad New Japan is, because imagine how many millions of dollars they put into him in Japan alone, promoting him, right?
He drew big for them too, like in that era, you know.
Are you telling me that he can't go? Because
he could go, he just doesn't want to. He's got fat money. He's like, I'm not going hard again. I'm good. His body's what it is, and he's accepted. I'm here in AEW where nobody gives a shit, and we don't really have to try. You know what I mean?
He and Kenny, I think, had some big matches, didn't they? Like,
yeah.
And Kenny just got back from that tuberculitis, whatever that fucking
diverticulitis,
whatever the intestine thing. Diverticulitis.
That's like a liver thing, right?
I think it's something in the intestines. I'm not really sure, but
okay.
But he's still going at like a pretty high level.
Yeah, but he slowed it down tremendously. Like Kenny's just there, you know, he lets everyone kind of do everything, and he, you know, he is doing some crazy shit, but it's, if you notice, he's definitely not going as hard as he once did.
I think, like, at least, you know, Kenny.
But he could go. Okada's just phoning it in because he's got the bag, dude.
I don't know. I didn't see that 3-way they had recently, but I would expect
anybody did. To be fair,
what's that?
Nobody did. To be fair,
yeah, it's true. But but like, so him and I don't know. The Okada thing is a joke. I've never been impressed personally. But I also think that, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but
what's crazy is that so long ago, everyone was like, yo, Tony just wants to rebook Okada Omega. Like, that's all he's, like, it's his dream. It's his fantasy. So many people would say that. And, you know, I knew it too, but all this time later, he's still dead set on it. It's like, that's wild, bro. To me, like, don't you think he should have gave that up? Like, do people really want to see that again? I just really don't know if people want to see that again. And I've seen some people online compare it to, oh, like, you know, Okada's washed, but you guys pop for Shield stuff. And it's like, well, we're popping for storyline elements, you know? This isn't like just having them have another match. The story was that series of matches between them that were so great or whatever. You know, like, that was the fucking story. Now that's done. We got to move from that, you know, but they can't seem to do that. It's just, you know, Tony Khan's just hung up on the shit. But anyways,
I think a lot of Japanese wrestling is overrated.
Oh shit.
I think that people think that just because a match was in Japan. It's like, it's amazing.
Aaron's Totally Real Radio Job says, look at Penta. People thought he was washed, but when he got to WWE, he looked great. Yeah, exactly, bro. And I pointed that here too, like beat people over the head with that. It's like he was phoning it in. When we were looking at those clips of him and Cassidy doing their fucking flippy shit, the 8 destroyers and I mean, I like flippy shit from time to time, but they're trading 8 destroyers, and he was just phoning it in. He didn't give a shit. And yeah, you just see that second breath of life in him, and it's so good. And exactly, I don't know. I think if Okada had went to WWE, he would have been wrestling better. But then all the sickos would be like, they're holding him back. But meanwhile, you guys don't get it. He doesn't want to do that shit. He's beaten his body up so much. He's made tons of money in the business. He doesn't want to do that,
Like Meltzer Magoo, for example.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case at all. And I think Japanese wrestling has created such an influence on Americans in particular.
Yeah, you guys can see how that banner's like chopping too on the StreamYard's just fucking up. I don't know if it's like a bunch of people streaming or what. People are like, you idiot, why do you use StreamYard? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Chose, okay.
Particular. But they all want to try and do this strong style shit. Now I want to try and fighting spirit. And it's like, you're the fucking problem.
Yeah.
You're actually the problem, you fucking nerds.
Right.
You twinks that couldn't fucking lift a drink to your mouth, much less do a push-up. Acting like you're fighting spirit. Nobody believes this shit. We're laughing. So
I was in the UK, and the only wrestling shirt I saw was an AEW, because I think they had just came from Wembley, like their second time there. And the guy wearing it must have been like a 5XL, because this dude was as wide as he was fucking like thick. Like, let's just say he probably hasn't seen his reproductive organ in at least 25 years.
Oh,
And
come
this
on.
guy's
That's
probably
not
like-
very fair. You can always get a blue chew with the Chew World Order, and you can always say with Conrad, that's not very fair, Eric Renee, to say that about a healthy AEW fan.
Oh, come on now, Eric.
He clearly just likes to eat, and so he's very healthy. Eric Renee, you don't have to say that about a healthy AEW fan. And your reproductive organs you can always take a blue chew for that. I seriously, we're calling it new chew or something. I got to stop. We got to say new chew. New chew. That's the new thing, okay? Don't let me say that other shit anymore until they start paying me to say it.
Like 30. So, real talk. What finisher do you think got completely bared over the years? All of them.
Okay. So that was fun. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Cafe de Rene podcast. And let's get Flutes in the chat, because we're about to do some Dave Meltzer action. Round of applause, though, for Cafe de Rene. I'm going to check in with chat here in a quick moment. Momentlier. Just give me 1 second here. So Sammy Guevara won the 100K. That's cool. Hopefully he gets a bit of a push. Hopefully him and like Monet can get past their shit. Isn't it crazy that he was like one of the pillars, then he became one of the fillers pretty much. But that's crazy that he was one of the pillars, quote unquote, and then he's just like persona non grata in Ring of Honor, more or less. Let's see here. I'm gonna check in with chat in a second. Juchu. I think I did. Yeah, I made the joke on the show. I was like, no, that's what Alt Jake takes. Or Juchu. It's funny. Oh, come on now, Phil. Just reach out to Blue. No, well, do I reach out to them? Like, I don't know how this shit works, bros. I just get sent phishing links and people who are like, sell these coffee makers. And I'm like, well, like, fucking give me one and let me try it first, I guess, or whatever, so I don't know. But yeah, I'd do it. I'm here for it, Eric. I'm here for it. Oh, come on. That's not very fair. Yeah, no, it's got to be Nuchu or something like that. Beta Cuck Soy Boys. Are you talking about Beta Cuck Soy Boys, not high T Giga Chads like Chris Van Vliet? That's not very fair. I team with Conrad, sell flutes. That'd be fun. See, stop now. Hold up now. So I'm working on something when it comes to that. Get your dick hard and make some scratch with Nuchu. Listen, man. Yeah, I don't know. I was chatting with someone about it. They were like, they send you like a fucking box of them and, a few $100 or whatever. It is what it is. Let me check in with chat. Sorry, I'm missing my super chats here. Plenty and Pixlar for 5 says the rare times I see Paul London, he makes me laugh so damn hard. He is funny and he just doesn't give a shit. He just buries shit like ruthlessly, That clip of him burying Aubrey Edwards, I put it in the intro sometimes. It's like one of my favorite clips, like just his reaction doing it, But yeah, he called out Kenta recently too, and he's like, he's a fake tough guy. This is what I mean, because some people were like, oh, they're gonna work some shit in MLW. Nah, bro. When he was calling out Kenta, he was serious because he was like burying him, and look at what he just did to Okada. He just buried his ass. I just think he finds those dudes overrated for the most part. Kenneth Douglas for 20. Thank you so much. It says my 2 cents on the releases. Okay, you just got here. Good time to super chat in because we're transitioning here. My 2 cents on the releases. They were people who hadn't really done anything in their runs. I think Dakota Kai, we could argue that. And then Strowman definitely did, but he's not like even on a run anymore. So the thing with Strowman is like, that one doesn't shock me at all. The guy makes really good money there. And it's like, what do we even do with him? Releases suck, but that's the business. True that. Also love the IWC are suddenly a fan of the release talent. They'll find other places. Right. So I broke that down earlier, Kenneth. Check out the replay on youtube.com/@prowrestletimes is the replay channel, and that's like the podcast channels over there, for all the long form shit. Check the replay. Check out me breaking it all down if you haven't. Pretty much we agree on that. There is a lot of people, but also I got flack for that. People like, you don't care about this talent or whatever. I showed one of the wackos who said it to me earlier in the sicko segment. But nah, dude, I bitch about the women's tag division all the fucking time. And also I'll bitch about Dakota Kai's creative. Like you'd think, I don't know. You have women from other continents. You just released an intercontinental championship out in the fucking WWE universe. You think you'd want to bolster she almost won the fucking belts. Like I would prefer she had won it over Lyra, boring ass Lyra, so I don't know, bruv. Yeah, my outrage is consistent. Some people though, it's true, the fans need to be, I think JD was over there with those fans, now he's back over here now. I think he was really hard on the fans too, which is good because, yes, I agree with that. There's a lot of people where it's like your outrage doesn't match your fandom at the time. You took them for granted then. If you were that big of a fan and you really are heartbroken, motherfuckers took them for granted, But thank you for the super chat. And yeah, check that out earlier. I broke it down really well. Dutch even pitched to Nuchu recently. If you can't beat him, might as well promote Bone. I'll fucking join him, you guys. I don't want to read a bunch of ads. I show you guys my social media and shit and my Patreon, or become a member for 99 cents or gift a membership or super chat in like fucking Kenneth, the stud Douglas over here. Okay. Studley Dougley over here. Okay. Studless Douglas. Cause you got because that's how you support what the fuck I do. I'm not going to riddle this thing with ads, but I'll take one if it means, you know what I mean? I'm going to do this more and more and more. And like just this, it's fun. It's my favorite thing is broadcasting. So Jack and Jill went up the hill, both with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Dad, the Chew World Order. Yeah, we covered that. Okay, let's get into looks good on posters and shit. Think about a big motherfucker. Yeah, verse Fatu. That was so fun. I agree, man. Flu Chew. Yeah, Flu Chew's good. Flu Chew. Oh, shit. Holy fuck. Flu Chew, because it is time for everybody's favorite segment. Flu Chew's in the chat, because it is time for everybody's favorite segment. Mrs. Cornett's favorite segment. Aaron Imholtz's favorite segment, apparently. Hughesy's favorite segment. Conrad Thompson's favorite segment, Brian's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. Okay. So this is, I fucking quote tweeted this and I called Meltzer a scumbag, and I was like, or I don't know if it was about this, but for a few things. This is one of the scummy things, is like him or the Observer reposting Ricochet being like, no, the main reason was that the WWE ruined my love and passion for the sport. And then Dave tries to pretend like he's not a biased chill asshole, you know? So I just don't buy into that, and that's weird. You don't see them retweeting the, EJ and Duca thing that where he's like, oh, he's been on the bench or whatever the fuck, coming off the bench, right? But of course, it's a shot at WWE. So Dave's like, oh, you guys better retweet any WWE hate, Brian. So here we go. Here's Dave Meltzer, the GOAT. Meltzer said what? Man, me and him have been chopping it up lately too, man. He's been fucking... It's a good guy. Where's my goat sound? Okay, and he says, wow, according to Dynamite Dave, and my slight paraphrasing, the AEW viewing audience is so disloyal, so desperate to leave, and so consumed by crippling ADHD that they will immediately turn off the show if they're forced to sit through even the quickest of video packages. So Dave really is saying that wrestling fans won't watch. Like, if these are the people you're catering to, bro, they can go watch TikTok. I've said this a long time ago. Make a wrestling, they should be watching WWE Speed. Where's my fast car? I don't think I have a fast car. Okay, you should be watching fucking WWE Speed if that's what, you know what I mean, dude? Because you just stroll through TikTok and shit if that's what you want to do. Because no, if you want this to be the biggest thing, you got to attract people. You need to do some more video packages and things like that. Of course, Dave will say, no, the more wrestling. But he's just defending because his way of wrestling is fucking dying and it's proven to turn people off. And so I said this. What did I tell you at the end of 2024? Christmas special. I said wrestlers will exodus AEW. The dirt sheets will be cut out of WWE. I should have been a little more specific on that second part. Dave Meltzer will start spiraling and they'll collectively blame the fans instead of take accountability. So the sheets, AEW, and even Meltzer, they will blame fans before taking accountability for their part in all of this. We have a 2-minute clip. Sit back, grab your popcorn, your 3D glasses, and let's take a listen to Seltzy Meltzy here, Wavy Davy.
Well, I will say this is
and trying Brian. Can we get a Brian in chat for fucking? Where's Brian?
A complaint because I have been begging for video packages, but I laughed when I saw this video package because I think Tony is like petrified of video packages because he thinks people are going to turn off the show.
Yeah, well, if he is, that's dumb, but I just don't think they're creative. There's nobody. The most creative shit is like Julia Hart's has her little vignette for her return. And she went and shot that with like this independent film lady who's like, you know what I mean? Like outside of AEW. And I'm sure she's done work with them multiple times, but it's like some independent lady tweeting out like, oh, I had fun making this and the concept I came up with, da-da-da. It's not them coming up with it. Tony's the worst. He's spread too thin and he's out of touch and he has bad creative. Same as Vince. Vince was in the same boat, you know?
Because this video...
And I always bring that up, sorry, because I want to remind people we keep the same energy over here.
Package. I mean, they talked so fast. I thought that they like did it at 1.5 speed to make it go even faster. I mean, they were like, they were going to have a video package, but they were determined to get it as quick as we can and get it off TV so people won't turn the channel. But the fact is, it's not the 90s, and there's not another show head-to-head on the other channel.
Exactly, dude. Brian, he's trying.
Like, your fans will watch your video packages.
Well,
they're telling stories for your shows.
Well, they get minute by minute, and
take it minute by minute. I mean, that 8-man all-star was minute by minute, like 52 minutes, Brian. Then you add 30%.
AEW fans are not that good minute by minute when it comes to things like
AEW. So look, now he's blaming you fucking sickos. That's why you listen to Phil, because I haven't lied to you since day one. They're going to blame you now. Watch. They're going to pull a Disney, because that's what happens when you can't take fucking accountability. And none of them can. You can never go after Master Dave. You can never go after, well, people go after Dave all the time, but his sickos go hard in the paint too. Dave has some fucking sickly people, man. You can never go after Tony Khan. You can't go after the cult leaders, bro. It's crazy. It is fucking nuts. Meanwhile, I fucking called Triple H's booking dumb as shit tonight, right? You gotta keep the same energy, bro. And all I'm saying is that Dave is out of touch. You're out of touch. And he's going to blame the fans now. And don't be shocked if you see Tony and AEW wrestlers already blaming fans. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Yeah, we know, man. Most people, you guys got to understand, most people who aren't going to watch stopped watching. You idiots. The people pleading with you and the people who are invested enough to be like, why does this suck? Are invested enough to where you could flip them. Again, we talked about John Taffer and Gordon Ramsay earlier. Let's go back to that. Gordon Ramsay famously said, or through his studies, I guess, his research of doing, just working in kitchens and doing surveys of people and stuff. He said, like, over the years, he realized something profound, that people who don't come back to restaurants, they just don't come back. They don't tell you, oh, this was shit and this was shit. They don't care enough. They just don't come back. It's the same with TV. They just don't come back. And they haven't come back. And the key demo's getting older. And you're like, oh, they're ADD people. No, man, they're fucking, it's skewing older again. Right? And now they're going to blame the fans. Oh, the fans are fucking, like Dave already did this too. And he's like, oh, AEW fans are more college educated and they're richer, etc. They have more money. They're more intelligent too. Okay. And then he's like, oh, I don't know why they're not buying tickets, though. I mean, they have the money. It's like, well, because if you're saying they're so intelligent, they're smart enough to know not to spend their fucking dumb money on this shit. But it's always just like, what are the fans doing wrong? Not that, Dave, you're a shill and you're so uncool that you make AEW seem so uncool when you give it all these 5 stars. People are like, it has to be shit, if that's what Dave's saying. And it's not that some of these wrestlers, the way they act when they have an inkling of freedom on fucking Twitter, the way they come across, it has nothing to do with that. It's just blame the fans. People being told in droves, don't watch. It's not that the Bucks are just, people don't want to see that shit. It's not that the indie mentality was supposed to be taken then elevated to like a new height, and that's what we thought Cody Rhodes was going to do, and it never happened. It's none of those things. It's just that fucking the fans. No one was sold a bill of goods, right? About Wardlow or any of the pillars. Where are they all? Oh, well, Guevara, I mean, he's a Ring of Honor tag champ. He just won $100,000, Brian. Like, what the fuck, airing the Punk footage, that's not a reason, right? It's because Tony's just a great booker, and even Dave Meltzer last show, he's like, well, it's not the booking, it's not that. Now it's just blaming the fans. Oh, they're not capable. I mean, if there's a package, that audience will just go away. So then you're just admitting it's a niche sicko audience that just wants to look at fucking move corn with a C, YouTube, move corn. Okay. And they want to pretty much, like jump around like Dave does when these flips and matches that he's seen a million times happen.
Not that good minute by minute when it comes to things like that.
Well, yeah, because they don't do them. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
No, it's not. They did them at first, and it didn't work. That's why they stopped doing it.
No, it didn't work, you fucking idiot. Oh, they did packages in the start, and it didn't work. No, it was where at the start when you guys had 1 million people watching your TV show? The fuck are you talking about, Dave? He's such a lying, phony jabroni. Him and Tony are convinced just the matches. Okay, weekly indie show. Weekly compilation of the best matches from the AEW indie shows you put on, and then you have like Tony Schiavone host it, and then you just sell us on a super indie pay-per-view every 3 months. And I'll pay every time. You charge $80. I'd probably pay for it if you marketed it the way they marketed the OG All In and shit. Or All Out or whatever the fuck. Right? So I don't know, man. It's Dave's so lost in the sauce. Sorry, I can't even get through this clip.
I mean, it's like
Batman.
I used to say you have to sacrifice.
Yes.
To build. Okay. But if you're just looking and say
you have to sacrifice to build. Holy shit. I can't even get through this video. What has Tony sacrificed? Marco stunned. What has he sacrificed? He won't give up his old shitty ways, and neither will you. And it's fucking killing AEW. numerically, statistically. Oh, you think AEW is going to die? Nope, never. Never will. TNA existed on the Pop channel, on Destination America. AEW will be here forever. I've said it till I'm blue in the fucking face. It ain't going nowhere. I understand that. But in the form and the size that they can pretend that they are and shit, that might change drastically. And these fucking TV ratings might go. You guys don't get it. The Ultimate Fighter has like 100,000 people watching it now. And Dana White keeps putting it on TV. And everyone's like, why? Revitalize it or get rid of it. It's the same thing with this, bro. It's not like it. Yes, the money will keep it alive, but it's not like it can't just be nobody's watching this shit eventually, which is what we've been yelling to try and prevent, but they didn't care. They didn't care.
They don't do it. It's like they've done it. The experiment's there. It didn't work as far as a ratings thing. So if you're worried about minute-by-minute ratings, these are things that you don't do. At some point, though, you have.
So why are you worried about minute-by-minute ratings then? Because you're not winning any of them. The minute-by-minutes, you're doing shittier than NXT. The Bucks are losing you 10K people and then, or 20K people fall off, then 10K come back or whatever. Like, what are you talking about?
Build stories, and you can't worry about every single minute. So you have to do it. But AEW fans are different. I mean, when it comes to
that's for fucking sure.
It's not like WWE fans. I mean, they will tune out with, long backstage stuff. They will tune out.
Well, that's a problem then. If your fans won't stick around.
Boom. That's a problem. If you're see, Dave doesn't understand it. Dave doesn't get it. He just proved to everybody that he's a stupid idiot and he doesn't understand what the fuck he's even talking about. If the fans will watch through vignettes and promos and recaps and fucking back and forth battles and brawls backstage, whatever the fuck he's trying to cope over, they're invested in the characters. No one's invested in these fucking characters. Oh, but the storytelling can be in the ring, bro. Fall down, get back up. Fall down, get back up, bruv. Tell the story in the ring, bruv. Yes, that goes without saying. That's such a cope for wrestlers to say that. And when the storytelling is when the in-ring is the only aspect of it, is what you do on the indies, or when the territories are jumping around, when it's not all televised, but you're a weekly TV show. So you got to TV it up, and it can't all just only be in the ring. It cannot. I'm sorry, because it's TV. Okay. Or I guess it can, because Tony's proving it can just be that, because this is on TV. Right. But it is crazy to hear. Well, it's not crazy. You expect it, because Dave is a fucking idiot, and Brian's trying over here. Right. Because Dave's a fucking dummy.
Yeah.
If they don't care about the promos, if they won't sit through their ADD. Oh, so they like move corn? So your boy Phil Mark's been right for years. They just want move corn. They just want to see people do flips until one of them possibly hurts themselves or worse. And they don't really actually care about the wrestlers. Proof, they don't really actually care about them. They just care about seeing flips and moves. Watch YouTube highlights. Type in Will Ospreay best moves. They're all there. Watch TikTok. Watch WWE Speed. Real quick, here's a couple flips. Here you go. Here's the belt. If that's what you guys want, that's for you. Tony Khan thinks the whole Dave Meltzer thought they were going to change and revolutionize pro wrestling with this. Fucking wild, man. Pretty wild. And if they're so ADD, then why aren't they focused more minute by minute? Why aren't they focused on minutes streamed and shit like that? Like all the other streamers and stuff. Well, it's on TV. Okay, then don't book for minute by minute, because that's not working clearly either. It's pretty crazy, man.
Your fans won't stick around for video packages. You got to figure this out.
They just won't. I mean, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. It's been done.
Fact of the matter is, they need video packages, whether they tune out or not. It's a storytelling device.
I agree,
and it's important.
Yeah, I agree. But I am telling you that it doesn't work for ratings.
Oh, I am telling you it doesn't work for ratings, but their ratings are bad year over year, Dave. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God.
I don't know.
What an absolute. We need to play him a fucking Meltzer E-flute because he's so stupid. What ratings, Dave? They literally put up their second lowest Dynamite rating in their usual time slot like 2 weeks ago. The the fucking key demo is down 33% year over year, dude. We just looked at it, Raj Giri. And that's recently, as of this week. This past week, rather. So what the fuck are you talking about, Dave? I'm telling you, it doesn't work for ratings. What do you know about ratings, Dave? It's still 50% off the fucking Observer right now, isn't it? That Black Friday sale sure went mighty long.
Ice. I agree.
And it's important.
Yeah, I agree. But I am telling you that it doesn't work for ratings. Now, should they do it? Yes, especially for big.
Oh, it doesn't work for ratings, but should they do it? Yes. Well, why should they do it, Dave? Because it works for ratings? Because maybe getting people invested in your characters works for ratings? So why would Dave, he just did like a instant hypocrite. You guys caught that? He goes, well, it doesn't work for ratings. Okay, then you shouldn't want them to do that then, but they should do it. Why? Because you're fucking lying, Dave. You're lying. He's just lying about all this stuff. Then he just admits his own lie.
Liar! Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
I can't. It's a 2-minute clip, and it's
I agree.
And it's
Tony Khan.
It's important.
Yeah, I agree. But I am telling you that it doesn't work for ratings. Now, should they do it? Yes, especially for big matches. This isn't that big of a match, by the way. But when it comes to building big
So just big matches you give a package to? What?
matches, sometimes you have to sacrifice a few viewers.
For what? You have to sacrifice a few viewers. So he's saying it doesn't work for ratings, but you have to sacrifice viewers by doing the thing that apparently helps the ratings. Do you guys hear what he's trying to spit at us? He's literally saying in the same sentence that it's not good if you do packages. It's not good for the ratings, but it'll be good for the ratings if you don't do it, or it's not good for the ratings if you don't do it. We'll sacrifice some viewers by not doing this thing that isn't good for the ratings. What is he even talking about?
To tell your story. But the reason that they don't do it more is because they don't want to lose viewers for the show itself.
Yeah, they're losing viewers for the show itself, Dave. That is mind-numbingly fucking stupid. I really can't even believe that. So Meltzer says that imagine how broken your brain has to be to, as a reporter, see either of these two stories, and your first thought is, but how unfair is this to the billionaire son, Tony Khan? So Dave Meltzer says, we are on the air talking AEW Dynamite and all the news. Watch live right now or on demand at any time. So it starts, Carmella and Corey Graves expecting second child, Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan launch amateur freestyle promotion, Liv Morgan film role revealed, NJPW Wrestling Duntaku preview, BOSJ lineup, Mayu Iwatani joins Marigold, Thekla heading to the U.S., more WWE, AAA details, ratings, AEW Dynamite recap, WWE NXT notes, and so, and then he posts something else. So Meltzer said what? This is like a thread of him just trying to own Dave, right? So this is the thing he posts saying, if you asked 100 people on the street who these personality traits are describing, who would they say? Never wrong, speaks in riddles, arranges words in an unusual manner, thinks everyone is against him, seeks revenge against those who oppose him, demands apologies from those he feels have slighted him. If you're asking the IWC, it's Dave Meltzer. Or disagree with him, holds a grudge, talks about, interjects himself into a story situation he discusses, cannot have any civil discussion with anybody unless they 100% agree with him, has a cult-like fan base that believes everything he says. Bro, that's pretty wild, man. But yeah, I guess he was just complaining. I don't know. I thought there was a clip attached to that thread. I guess not. I guess that was a fuck up. But here is another clip, though, from Meltzer Said What, right? So Meltzer Said What posts this, and he tags Eric Bischoff and Conan. You have both been critical of Tony Khan in the past, but now you both have new startup TV ventures, and you can prove to Uncle Dave that you are in fact better than Tony Khan. Right? So Meltzer just thinks that if you've ever criticized AEW, you're wrong because they made some money this year. And then when you point out how much money it is realistically, he fucking freaks out and is like, oh, no, Switchblade's lying. BJ Bethel's right. Switchblade did all the math and is like, AEW's going to make like 15 million this year. And everyone's like, oh, bullshit. Fucking no, they aren't. No, it's way more than that. You don't think? It's like, no, man. Think about what they pay the wrestlers. They're jumping on Switchblade. 110 million for the roster? Yes. Think about it. Just do the math. Name fucking 10. I can name you 10 guys where you go, oh yeah, that makes fucking sense. It's like, yes, bro. And he claimed they're making money. Everyone's mad. But Meltzer believes if you in the past didn't think they would be successful this long, then you didn't study the business like me and all of that. But I don't know. He tagged Bischoff and Conan. They both have chances now, I guess, to prove Dave wrong here.
I mean, he's, it's funny because it's kind of like they go back because, WCW was a television hit for a couple of years, like another century. You know what I mean? This was in the frickin' other century. And
so look at Dave clowning. It was the other century they were a big deal. Yeah, tell that to your boss, Tony Khan, who fucking is taking victory laps over beating Nitro as far as, I don't know, weeks in a row that there was a show on TV. What did they even beat them on?
The best guys, Tony Khan.
No one's really made that clear.
Some people, they're giving him a shot in this thing. And
the longest primetime show, whatever. What? Okay.
There is an irony here. There's an irony because it's Eric Bischoff and Conan both, are big critics of Tony Khan.
Conan is a big critic of fucking WWE.
Idiot.
He's a critic of everything, bro. He's an old guy who doesn't give a fuck, and he just talks shit and gives you hot news.
And both of them now have a chance to prove that they, in fact, are better than Tony Khan because they're both involved with, startup television ventures. So now, let's see.
Dave, Eric Bischoff and the shit he's done in the past already fucking proved he's better than Tony Khan with TV shit he's done in the past. What the fuck you talking about, man? And Conan, what are you talking about?
If they can beat Tony Khan, so I mean,
Conan and AAA already beat Tony Khan, houses drawn and shit already. And Dave, you have to admit that. You do admit that because you're like, well, Lucha gets the most casuals. Conan already outdraws Tony Khan and AAA, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
There is that interesting story
or at least as far as sellouts are concerned and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like they crush on their big events.
This, but again, I think most people look at it as just, they latched onto something. It probably won't last. When they were talking about like their big stars, they did mention Kennedy Blades, and that's a good one. She's 21 years old. She took a silver medal in the last Olympics. She's going for the World Championships this year. She just won the Nationals over the last week. But they also mentioned Ben Askren, who's someone who I know and who's
who thinks you're a fucking putz, by the way.
Great wrestler in his day, one of the best in the country of the last 25 years. But his day was a lot.
Yeah, Dave, Ben Askren's not going to compete, bro. He had a hip replacement. Like, what do you think? He's going to coach and fucking... They're talking about the Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan. You can outdraw Tony Khan with amateur freestyle wrestling, Dave. Shut the fuck up. Dave is such a dummy. He does apples to oranges comparisons all the time. He's so incredibly stupid. Oh, you have a chance to outdraw Tony Khan with amateur wrestling and Hulk Hogan. What the fuck? What are you smoking, bro? And here's the thing. Ben Askren's going to be like a personality, dude. Jesus Christ.
Long time ago. I mean, you're talking about the mid 2000s.
Oh, Ben Askren has a specialty match against Chael Sonnen, and they do it, pop a big viewership. Okay. Like, what are you talking about, dude? That's nothingness. Like, they're not talking about Ben Askren's going to be the future of this fucking thing. He's just a credible name that everyone knows in the world of wrestling, of amateur wrestling or freestyle wrestling or whatever, Olympic wrestling, that can help get eyeballs and people. He can help with connections and get people into the thing. Dave's so fucking stupid.
I was in like 2005 2006, I think, was when he won his Hodge trophies. He's 40 years old. He's had hip surgery. I mean, he's not.
Dave's talking like they're gonna push him as like the world heavy, bro. My word, man. They're probably bringing that Gable Steveson dude. But yeah, Askren's just like the plug, bro. He's just the guy that, he's a part of it. He's very respected in the world of wrestling. He can get names. He can get MMA guys who maybe want to go back to or whatever, right? Like maybe he wrestles a freak show match against someone to bring eyeballs. But like, come on, dude. Dave is so fucking out of touch and funny when he talks like this.
When you're talking about him as one of the stars, it's like, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
A wrestler.
Dave, for like a year, man. You got to understand, bro. Jesus Christ. As a star for like, what, 10 years, Dave? Like, what did you think they were talking about? And he thinks they're going to compete amateur wrestling against Dynamite. Like, that's somehow even something we can compare in the same fun. Hey, yeah, let's compare a hockey and this football game over here, this college basketball game over here, you fucking idiot. And that was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Brian.
Kenneth Douglas for 20 says video packages keep people invested in stories. If Ospreay and Omega are feuding and if something happens on Collision, you need to show everyone what happened on Collision. You can't expect people to tune in to every show. That's exactly the problem. And what's funny too is that they're like, the big lead in from the basketball game, but then they don't retain any of those people. Why? Because it's what you just said, bro. If they had some packages and then the match and people are like, oh, fuck, this is, there's real heat here. Wait, is this like a UFC package? Are these guys really trying to fight? And they did it serious and people are training and all this shit. Are these guys really going to fight? Then you have a shot. But instead, they just like roll it out. Here's Kenny and Ospreay. It's like, hey, maybe some people watch it and laugh and talk about how stupid it is at the bar. Like, and until they fucking yell at the bartender to find the remote and switch it. Like, you've all been in the pub and know what I'm talking about. Like, they just switch that shit off the screen. People fall asleep on their fucking couch. An hour later, there's 1 million less people watching. Yeah, it's because that 60-minute timer on their TVs were like, time to switch it off. You know what I mean, dude? So I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate that as well, because it's true. You have to, especially, this is the biggest problem I fucking have. If I said it, keep Collision and Dynamite fucking separate, brother. If they're going to tell Dynamite shit over on Collision and vice versa, you really need packages then. You really got to catch people up. Because if I do this live show and I don't pay attention to Collision, but I turn on Dynamite and then I don't have content, why aren't you explaining it? And Meltzer's blaming the fans. And this is the beginning. He's calling them ADHD and stupid pretty much. Like, they can't sit through it. It'll ruin the ratings, even though the ratings are down year over year, Brian. So pretty much that theory's fucked. Thank you, Kenneth Douglas. Round of applause for everybody who tuned in tonight. I want to thank you all for being here. It was an epic show. I had a blast, about 4 hours long. Thank you for being here. Sicko Saturday night. And we'll be back Monday with the WWE Raw Netflix and Phil watch along. Wednesday, of course, the show as usual. And I can't wait. What news? As we were doing the show, Tony Khan and all these different names were trending as we were doing Phil Marks, bookmarks. And I was like, shit. I bet there's a bunch of shit and a bunch of meltdowns and stuff to bookmark, but there's another day for that. We'll cover some of that on Monday. We'll see some of the reaction and if anybody else gets released before the weekend's through, and update you on all of that on Monday. So make sure you tune into that show. Wednesday, of course, the regular live show, youtube.com/@prowrestletimes, youtube.com/@prowrestleclips, youtube.com/@philmarksout if you want to hear me review Thunderbolts and shit with Husey. I'll get Husey back on the show soon, I promise. And I got some I'm doing a pod with Squared Circle Maniacs coming up, and I got some other cool guests lined up in that. So appreciate you all for being here. Be good to each other. It's sunny out there. Okay, so drink lots of water. Take care. Silver Tower just gifted 5 Pro Wrestle Clips.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
And I appreciate you so much, Silver Tower. Love you very much.
Be gone.
Now it is time to be gone. I bid you all adieu. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang. I hope some haters got those. Until next time, I'll see you all in the Upside Down. Peace.
It is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts.
You know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We have just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me have my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
You got to run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we have just secured the bag.
But you got to promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. You'll be like my favorite movie. Lifetime. It's so great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
Keep themselves safe.
It's time for Jim Cornette's Strike Through. Sponsored by Stephen Paynew. Send an email to our crew, buy a cameo or two. It's Jim Cornette's Strike Through.